Welcome, everyone, to the Pickens County Board of County Commissioners work session on Tuesday, September 2nd. Sorry, we're starting a little late. We had quite a number of things to talk about with our attorneys, and so we are resuming here for our public portion of the meeting to discuss Board of Health recommendation around distance requirement between child care facilities and psychedelic healing centers. And I'll look to our public health director, Jordana Savella, and whoever you would like to bring up.
And Dr.
Okay.
Levin. Hi, Kim. How are you?
Hi.
Good. How are you, Betty? Hi. Great. Good afternoon. My name is Jordana Sabella. I am our Pickens County Public Health Director. And joining me today,
Hi, I'm Kimberly Levin. I'm the County Medical Officer and Emergency Physician locally.
and as Kelly has stated, we are back with a recommendation. So the Board of Health and Public Health staff was tasked by the Board of County Commissioners to make a recommendation as to whether Pickens County should consider an alternate distance requirement between schools and child care facilities and psychedelic healing centers, which is currently required under state law. This referral was made to Public Health after the BoCC received a request from a mental health clinician with an office in the Aspen Airport Business Center who wishes to operate as a micro-healing center but is located within that current 1,000 feet of a child care facility, which is disallowed under state law. And Public Health was really instructed to consider those health impacts of such a recommendation. So that's what Dr. Levin and I are here today to talk with you about. So in May of 2023, Colorado legalized psilocybin mushrooms for personal use or by use of healing centers. The Colorado regulated natural medicine rules do require that healing centers be at least 1,000 feet from a licensed child care facility or a school. There is also allowances for local jurisdictions to be able to regulate the time, place, and manner of natural medicine businesses that are licensed by the state. But local municipalities cannot ban or prohibit these businesses or enact regulations that are unreasonable or conflict with state law. So why regulate distance? Why is that in the Colorado regulations? Having a set distance between where legalized substances are available and schools or child cares are is a public health strategy. It's been found to protect youth from exposure and influence of these substances. Evidence has shown that this discourages underage use and maintains public confidence and equity across all socioeconomic neighborhoods. So right now, there is this kind of a distance regulation in place for tobacco, nicotine, and alcohol. Those three substances need to be sold more than 500 feet from a school. And then retail and medical marijuana stores right now are required to be more than 1,000 feet from schools and child care facilities. What are other localities doing around this topic? Currently, Aspen, Basalt, Snowmass Village, Eagle County, Garfield County all have not made any changes, so they are just aligned with the state requirement of healing centers being located that 1,000 feet from schools and child cares. Some jurisdictions across the state have put into place alternate distance requirements. Some have been more restrictive, some have been less restrictive. So for example, the city of Boulder requires healing centers to be at least 500 feet from any middle, junior, or high school. And Colorado Springs is more restrictive, requiring healing centers to be at least 1 mile from any school, daycare, or drug treatment center. They have also included in their local legislation. So on July 17th, the Board of Health discussed various perspectives, including they really started off by talking about that we should be cautious about relaxing any of the rules that currently regulate this newly decriminalized substance. and that the public sale of alcohol, tobacco, and marijuana for personal consumption, they recognized that there was really a difference in how that was how that's currently sold to anyone who is of age and comes into a public location versus with psychedelics, there's really this supervised use of natural medicine, of which it's a new frontier to understand how this is going to be used and regulated. So the Board of Health, throughout their discussions, wanted to make a recommendation to you as the BoCC that balanced allowing the mental health clinician in the ABC to operate while still maintaining protections and as much alignment as possible with those state regulations around distance requirements from schools and childcares. And so the recommendation that the Board of Health voted on was that they approved a recommendation to you all that healing centers should have no distance requirement from child care centers, but that it be maintained the state mandated 1,000-foot distance from all schools. After the Board of Health met and made that recommendation, Dr. Levin had a couple additional conversations, learned a little bit more, and will present to you the full staff recommendation around this issue.
Great, thanks. Yeah, so that recommendation to change the 1,000 feet from a child care center, what I learned afterwards, and this was a July 17th Board of Health meeting, was that there's a difference between a micro healing center and a healing center, and I just want to describe the differences in that our recommendation, the public health, and my recommendation from a physician's point of view is that we only focus on micro healing centers, and so that this change in legislation would be not include both, just focus on a micro healing center. So the difference is healing centers are designated by the Natural Medicine Health Act, and they are standalone centers that are dedicated to psilocybin-assisted therapy only. They're larger, they're higher volume, and it's only psilocybin treatment. They can have a much larger amount of psilocybin on hand, more than 750 grams. A micro-healing center is this healing center that already exists. It's a therapist center. It integrates it into other mental health therapies, medications, counseling, and these are run by clinical facilitators who have dual licenseship. So it would be a therapist, a social worker, a physician. So they're abiding by the scopes of both of those. They are using psilocybin as an adjunct, as an addition to all of these other therapies that are being used. And psilocybin has been shown to help with treatment-resistant depression and PTSD in some people that are not well treated with other modalities. So for this new proposal, I think we would like to only focus on these micro healing centers and maintain the distance for healing centers at 1,000 feet. I just want to make sure there's any questions about that difference. In addition, I just wanted to mention the American Academy of Pediatrics and physicians that strongly advocate these policies that maintain and increase a distance from a location that is selling most of the research has been done on alcohol and tobacco, and that it really has been shown in multiple research that policies that have greater distance between a school and a location of sale and exposure of a drug, alcohol, tobacco, it decreases youth use, exposure. It's a really effective public policy. So we would like to maintain that for these healing centers, and that it really does work. And of course, there's really hardly any research with psilocybin, but we know based on other substances that it most likely transfers to psilocybin as well. So this would be microhealing center. And then my other recommendation is that we maintain the most restrictive policy and recommendation in this. So instead of changing it from 1,000 to 0, let's maintain it at 200 feet. I would hate to see a center with a door right next to a daycare and having people going in and out of basically almost the same door. So if we restrict it to, say, 200 feet, which would be my recommendation, I think that would at least give a little bit of breathing room. There's not exposure if there's a bad trip, if there's some kind of an exposure that would not be positive for a daycare center. That is so overall, our public health staff recommendation would be 200 feet from a micro healing center only as a change. I'll also mention overall that the only other legislation that we have to compare to is Oregon. As you know, this is not a federally, it's still illegal on a federal level. The FDA does not regulate or approve, does not regulate the safety of this new medication. It's being used as a medication now. And so Colorado in general has more of a lax regulation than Oregon does in general. So again, part of my recommendation in terms of let's make it on the most restrictive side that we can, set an example for the rest of Colorado. So 200 feet, micro healing center and clinical daycare facility.
Okay, let's open up for questions. Patty?
Yeah, so the daycare facility at the ABC, what's the age group? Do we know?
I can reach out. I believe it's a preschool
So then
age.
it's a school. It's a preschool. Is it, what's the definition of preschool versus childcare center?
Childcare. So I can
Yeah,
reach out
that's
to you.
interesting because the definition in here is just schools. We're gonna maintain the regulation for schools, meaning elementary, K through 12.
Yes.
But if it's a preschool,
So it would be preschool and child care center. It would not include.
okay, so I just wanna make
Right.
sure that's
Yeah,
clear.
I think that's a good
because it's-
distinction.
There's a difference between, is a childcare also include preschool age kids, which are older children? So, and
Yeah.
it's called a preschool.
Yes.
It's not technically called a childcare center. So I would like some clarification on that at some point. So that's my question for now.
Thanks, Patty. Other questions, Jeffrey?
So I think, so one, to go to that clarification, then the question follows. So the state bill says if the buildings where natural medicine services are provided is within 1,000 feet of a child care center, preschool, elementary, middle, junior, or high school, or a residential child care facility. So this change is only for this one client in this one location at the ABC? Is that the, sorry, so
It is sympathetic towards this one client in this one location, the ABC, and it would allow that client to be able to practice. In the overall larger view of it, looking at Oregon, they do not have any restriction for childcare or preschool. Their restrictions on schools are only elementary and above, and it's 1,000 feet and local. There's no change that can be made to that to make it less restrictive. You can only make it more restrictive, which Colorado Springs did here. But yes, that's what it would do locally.
And then the question at the end of that was, so if we change the restriction to 200 feet for the micro healing facility, if there's a denial, a reissuance, or a complaint, can we go back to 1,000 feet? So in other words, take the ABC facility, if they've done something and they've jeopardized their license, how do we sort of maintain that control around the facility? So I'm cautious to go from 1,000 to 200. It seems like we're lessening what is in the state bill significantly. And so do we have any recourse if that actor in the ABC, has a denial of their license? So can we go back to 1,000 feet is my question.
So the changes to actually enact these changes, if you did want to move forward, it would be follow-up conversations with ComDev and the attorney, because it would actually be land use
Yes,
code.
change.
That would be needing to be changed. So unfortunately, I can't answer those details. ComDev and the attorney would be better suited for that. We were just asked to come with a recommendation from the health impacts, considering the increasing access to treatment while still maintaining those distance protections.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love a follow-up from ComDev or the attorney's office. How do we stay in line with 290, yet this seems like a one-off case that we would update the land use code?
I think you're right. Yeah, the Board of Health did do a vote, and that was their recommendation based on the presentation and the information that they had at the time.
Cool, thank you.
But to be clear, it wouldn't prevent a different facility opening under these similar restrictions in the county. So we're not calling out this one microhealing center. We're creating a condition that potentially other centers could fit under in the future.
So the question would be, would it prevent another healing center? It would prevent another micro healing center from creating a new practice within 200 feet.
It wouldn't, because we're not calling out the specific, we're not saying creating a law specific to just this ABC microhealing center. We're saying any microhealing center would have to be more than 200
Right.
feet from a child care. So if those conditions existed elsewhere in the county, they would apply.
Correct.
Comply. With that, that's all.
Oh, I see.
So
Yes.
on the ground, it's for one, but that's not the condition.
course,
that we're
yeah.
Else could
defining.
come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Greg.
Yeah, so the conversation of the Board of Health did not include anything regarding having to do a code change or the legal implications
Correct.
associated with that. And so not having them here makes me a little nervous. So it's like, we're just trying to find out if we even want to go there, is what I think this meeting is for. So that's, to me, that just seems, that may be too much for me, honestly, to reopen this, because what we're trying to do is accommodate an existing business that wants to change their business model, in a small, what might be a small way, but I'm not sure if it is. Comments that I heard also were that, we probably shouldn't rush into this. This regulation was just enacted, and we're already trying to change it when we don't even know what the outcomes will be. We don't know what the situation is. Time will tell if this is an issue or not. But so the question I have is this: do we want to be making this effort, changing our code, engaging legal, all that, to find out if we need to do this yet? I'm not sure this is the time yet to do this. We're often at the bleeding edge, at the front edge of things, and I kind of feel a need to pull back from that a little bit sometimes. And so
I think you're right about this just
nervous, yeah.
starting. The first one in Aspen opened in June.
Right.
So
okay.
this is just beginning.
This is right. This is with the recent regulations. So those are the questions I had. So it seems like we kind of want legal advice with us before I could go any farther, and ComDev as well. Like, how onerous is this? I don't know. Onerous.
In what way would it be onerous?
Changing county code can be pretty onerous. Involving attorneys can be pretty onerous.
Okay, I didn't know whether you meant the
Yeah.
specific on the ground situation or the lawmaking.
What it
part.
takes to change a
Okay.
rule to suit a single business.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
Jeffrey?
So I of course would take the opposite side and say, yeah, I'd love to have a meeting with the manager's office and ComDev and talk about a land use code text change to bring that forward, and what would it look like and how much work would it entail. So, but that would still answer your
Agreed. I
questions
agree.
at the end of the day. We're
Yeah.
saying the same thing.
Yeah, we are.
You don't have to vote yes or no. It's really just, yes, we do text code changes on behalf of someone who has a need outside of our land use code. And there's a process, and it's gonna take
Sure.
a couple months. So, but I'd also love to hear that from ComDev.
You didn't use the word onerous. Thank you.
Process.
Other questions at this point? So, we're not voting on anything today. We can give further direction on how to move this forward. It sounds like there's some additional process questions related to making this legal in the Pickens County Code if we wanted to. Are there more questions or discussion relative to the purpose?
I had,
Patty?
yeah, I would like to have more information as to what process was used by the city. And did they do a land use code change or, I don't have that background to find out what other jurisdictions did to get where they are on this. And I
To
think
make a
that would be
change.
part of a discussion we'd have with ComDev and the attorney as to how other jurisdictions went about doing it.
And I think it's just been two, right? Colorado Springs and Boulder. And
There may be a couple, there are a
That
couple
changed
others.
it, but I want to know how the city approved their micro healing thing, center, how, because I know it went before city council.
Oh, so you're wanting to know how the current healing center operating in the city of Aspen is operating?
Yeah, and if any of our other local, did Basalt do one?
the new one in Aspen, that's what you're talking.
Yeah, I want
first
to know
in
the process
June.
that was used, because I thought there was a little more involved than just saying you can open up. So I just need more background as to how you allowed the use of a micro healing center.
And that's not even, that's a healing center, not
It's
a
not a
micro
micro?
healing
Yeah,
center.
it is a healing center. Yes,
Okay,
that's
so
right in
different.
Aspen, within the city.
And it was within all of the,
Parameters as per the state.
That's what I think, as long as they jump through all the hoops in terms of getting licensed and they open one up. I don't personally know if they have to go through any steps locally to do that.
So all of the other ones, the one in Colorado Springs, well, they're all just healing centers, not micro healing centers.
I don't think Colorado Springs makes that distinction, and Colorado Springs increased it to 1 mile.
Yeah, but it says requires healing centers. It's in the AIS.
I
yes.
don't know that they made that distinction, honestly,
Well,
between the two.
so therefore, I need more information about what has happened in other jurisdictions who have addressed this issue, be it a healing center or a micro healing center.
And then if you're asking that question, that goes beyond the purview of what the Board of Health discussed, because there are ways within how some cities, and I think Aspen has had this conversation around zoning and where these businesses are able to operate versus
Well,
not.
see, that's information I think that would be helpful for us in making a decision to see what's already out there and how it may or may not apply to what we want to do here.
I'm going to jump in and then I'll go to you, Jeffrey. So does the state license and monitor the difference between a healing center and a micro healing center?
Yes, there are two distinct classes, processes,
they have-
licenses, regulations, rules.
So they have enforcement in place for maintaining less than 750 milligrams of psilocybin on site. That's within the state's licensing purview.
For the microhealing center?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making
Oh,
sure
oh.
we don't, like, if there is any enforcement requirements on the county or not relative to those, and if there's any enforcement, period, because I don't know a lot about the program. So that's very helpful, thanks.
So it looks like in Boulder, they did it for healing centers, cultivation centers, and testing sites. So an overall, all-inclusive change that they waived the 1,000-foot requirement, but kept 500 feet to middle schools, junior high schools, and high schools. I can look up for
It did
Colorado.
not address child care centers,
They waived the,
waived any
It's
center.
They
waived for
waived any-
child care centers, preschools, elementary schools, and residential child care facilities.
Yeah, so I
That's what
think
they
that
did in Boulder.
information would be helpful, if we're gonna, rather than leading that way, bleeding edge or not. I think it's nice to know what others have done to see what we might wanna consider doing.
Thanks, Patty. I think Jeffrey had another one and
Yeah.
then Francie.
So again, if we do come back with ComDev in the manager's office, I'd really like to know the intersection if someone does run afoul of the statute, state statute, what are the repercussions? So do we take away the 200-foot exemption and go back to 1,000 feet? So in other words, if there was a denial, a suspension, a revocation of the license, what are the implications for that license? given its proximity to childcare. So, again, not for today.
Become Devon legal.
Yeah, no, again, not for today, but just to follow up.
Francie?
So just to clarify where you guys are going, you're not concerned about the 200 feet separation compared to 1,000 feet? You're just concerned about how we enact it and what kind of precedent we're setting in terms of writing a different code, or is that what you guys are saying?
My questions were just for more information. I haven't really made up my mind whether it should be 2,001 feet or 1,000 feet. To me, are we talking age groups? So when you're in kindergarten and you're 5, you shouldn't be exposed to anything like this. If you're 4 and a half and in preschool, you can be.
Great, I understand.
Yeah.
And what were you saying? That,
Well, the state's we have a new regulation within the state. It's the state rule is a few months old now. We don't know if it works or not. We don't know if it's too stringent or not stringent enough. We don't know what the outcomes are, yet we're already trying to change it to accommodate a business in the valley who would like to expand into that business. It seems to me that we don't need to rush. I would kind of like to give it a chance to see what happens. Time will tell if the therapy actually works and if there are any other, aspects to it that hadn't been considered. I don't think we need to rush in it and change the state rule. Do we disagree with the state laws, or are we just trying to accommodate somebody who's, unfortunately, their office is already too close to a child care center?
okay.
So I'm just thinking, I don't think we should be compelled to rush if these questions remain. So that's where I am.
Okay. Okay.
What are your thoughts?
Well,
I
my
mean, I
thought
have
is
more
that it's a
thoughts, which I'd be happy
building,
to
it's a
share.
contained building with very few people in it. It's a very targeted therapy approach. I mean, there's all kinds of drugs in doctors' offices right next to schools. And there are all kinds of psychoactive drugs that people are prescribed all the time whose kindergarten parents take them. So this seems to me like a fairly benign setting for therapy that I don't see how it could possibly threaten anybody 200 feet away, and why would a kindergarten kid be in there? And there's not like somebody's going to come out of the door drunk or something, it's like, I don't see any possible threat to a child care or preschool 200 feet away. If we're talking about the complication of changing this state law to accommodate our county, yeah, I'd be interested to hear how that goes down, but I don't see, just think of some of the changes that have been made at the federal level that we're ready to combat the very next day. So just because the state only passed this a few months ago doesn't mean that I feel the need to try it out for a year. And so anyway, that's where I stand.
Okay, thanks, Francie. Jeffrey?
So I'm ready to move forward as per statute, as per 23-290. Governing body of a county by resolution may vary the distance restrictions imposed by this subsection. So I'm ready to go forward on that and go forward with the Board of Health recommendations. So we're operating in line with state statute as adopted 2 years ago, and we're going forward with what was presented to us by the Board of Health. I think both of those should go back to ComDev and the Attorney's Office. Thank you.
I have a question to your question, or your statement. I don't know if ours would be by resolution.
I'm just reading the state statute.
I know, but I'm saying is, you're saying if we're in accordance with what you just read with the bill, but ours would not be a resolution, I don't think, to change the land use
The bill
code.
refers to ordinance by city and resolution by county. So, sorry, it's the state of
Well,
Colorado.
no, we have to do a land use code, so it's a different
Understood.
process.
I'm just saying it's in the statute existing.
I know what you're saying, and I'm saying that we will not be doing ours by a simple resolution.
Because our home rule charter requires other steps.
Because we're special.
Okay.
And I think we should have a further conversation with ComDev, with the attorney, and with some more information, and then see how we want to move something forward.
I'm just looking to John because you would likely be the coordinator of that topic, of that conversation. If that all makes sense to you. I will say, I think it would be helpful for me to have a little bit of clearer understanding of how, the drugs are stored and administered, just to have clearer understanding of what that looks like as part of the healing process when we next discuss this, I think. But I think there's openness here. We just want some more information about the process. Does that sound good? Any follow-up questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Nice to see you all. Okay. Next topic, we're going to prep for the joint meeting with the City of Aspen, which we will have on Monday, September 15th. Who's hosting that? Are we hosting that? Or is
No,
the
it's the
city
City
hosting
Hall.
that? City Hall?
Weren't we just there?
We're doing it Tuesday.
Oh, right.
We were just, were you there?
I was there.
Okay.
I was there.
Oh,
He was
And
riding
I have
his
been
bike home.
negligent in touching base with my counterpart on
that.
potential topics. I don't know if you've had a chance to touch base with the
I
mayor.
texted Rachel, Mayor Richards, and did not hear back. I will say some of the things, I just took it upon myself to throw a few things out there. I thought we would, I know at least one of us, looking at Francie, would love an update on the lumberyard project. And then I offered that we could discuss airport and opportunities for public engagement. Have they appointed anyone to the AAB? They did?
Yeah,
Okay.
Evan Marks, I believe, is representing the city. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's how you got on there.
Yep.
Okay. That's helpful. And then,
That-
I'm not sure after our Parks and Open Space joint meeting next week, if there will be anything to report out, from those conversations, but I am sure there's interest from the city about recreation management. So I offered that from kind of our side of the table, and then I also thought it might be interesting for us to hear a bit of an update on their water planning. We've had some insights to their efforts to do further long-term planning for reservoir storage, et cetera. It might be interesting to see if there's alignment on any water issues for us to discuss. But those were just what I took it upon myself to throw out as suggestions, and obviously I can follow up with Rachel on other topics.
I think we'd have to have some staff do that water thing, because it seems to me the last time it came up, the council people didn't really know about it.
Yeah, yeah. Patty?
The lumberyard thing, you want to include their ballot measure they're putting on? They are putting a ballot measure on, correct?
We can
Bonding.
talk about ours too.
It's a bond for
It's a full meeting.
70 or 80 million.
Anything else that we want to hear about or would like to share with them?
As I was opening my email, I think I missed one though, Kelly, so I just want to, I've got the lumberyard, the airport, water planning, and there's one in between that I missed.
Recreation management,
Thank you.
after our joint meeting with Open Space next week. That was the other one I was thinking of.
And I think part of that, we just received a letter from Ian Long about a bike incident, not accident, on the Rio Grande. And I think if we do a recreation discussion, maybe, we'll see maybe out of open space and trails, but it was on the Rio Grande, but young girls, we don't know if they rented the bikes in town. We're supposed to have an education process going on we were hoping with e-bikes in town. I'd like to find out if the city's done anything in that direction. So when people ride e-bikes, they learn bike etiquette, trail etiquette, safety issues, speed issues, what type of bikes they can be riding, electric, bells on your bikes, those kind of basic things, because just walking out here one day, I almost got hit by some young kids flying in front on the sidewalk without any plugged into something.
Are they supposed to be on sidewalks?
Well, technically, it's illegal in the city, but there's no enforcement.
That'd be a good conversation. I'd certainly
Yeah.
support.
Yeah, me
Just to
too.
know if they're concerned about it would be a great start, because I think it's an issue, you're right.
Because I had my dog on a leash, and both of us would have gone flying if I hadn't heard them laughing or something and turned and they went flying by me. It was
If I
it's
could-
very frightening.
If I could add on, regarding Ian's letter, you know, he's clearly very frustrated that we're not allowing e-bikes on the mountain trails. And his argument is that, well, it seems that you're not doing anything, you're allowing them to run rampant everywhere else, so.
And you don't know about the
And you
difference
don't
in
know about
bikes.
this.
Yeah.
What really he doesn't seem to understand, that it's an enforcement issue. You can't look at a mountain bike or an e-bike and know if it's a class 1 or a class 2 or a class 3. They could all look the same, but they could have different capabilities. So it's really hard. There's an enforcement and identification issues, and definitely big time education issues. I bring it up at RAFTA about regarding the Rio Grande all the time, is that I think we need to start contemplating, if we're really going to use these as transportation corridors for commuters as well as pedestrians and baby carriage and dog walkers, we probably need to consider striping them and even widening in places and posting more signage. And there's a woman who was actually hit by a bicyclist on the lower Rio Grande Trail, who's really pressing to have, you know, enforcement officers on the trails because she was hit. It was a hit and run. She was able to identify the person who hit her, you know, but it was a very unsatisfactory situation that she had, and she's pressing that we make some rules about how the trails are used and enforced. I'm an advocate certainly for being able to commute to work on the bike trails, which is what I did today and love doing. But I observe it. There's all types of devices out there traveling at different speeds, with or without headphones or mirrors or bells. And I think we ought to do something before more people get hurt.
Well, and in light of Ian's letter, he's saying there's no enforcement on the Rio Grande. How does he expect us to enforce it on
Right.
the
That's the
other
point
trails?
he didn't bring
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
It's kind of ironic. Well, you're saying what we've been saying about using them on the trails outside of the Rio Grande, and the same thing's going to happen there. And is he going to write us letter then saying people are riding the wrong kind of bikes? But anyway,
I had the
that
same
being
thought.
said, I
just
think
to
that should be part of a
refocus that as
recreation.
a potential policy brainstorming conversation with the city.
And
If
perhaps
we're going to do
RAFTA as
recreation
well.
management, let's bring up
Somebody
the
from
use of
RAFTA should be
e-bikes.
there in that case, other than
Include that
us.
in there.
Okay. Francie?
I did find Ian's letter interesting because for him, the difference between his bike and a class 2 or 3 bike seems monumental, like we can't possibly have this. But for me, being on a bike trail and having a class 1 bike go by seems like a monumental difference in speed. And so it's interesting. But yeah, I think maybe some striping and maybe some speed limit would be good. And I look forward to talking about it with the city.
There is a speed limit on the trail. It's enforceable.
They are limited.
Say that again?
There is a speed limit
What
on
is
the,
it?
I think it's
15
20,
and
25?
It's 20?
I know Carter got pulled over the other day on a regular bike.
Oh, cool.
Really?
They're out there.
for her.
The heat is on.
It's either 15 or 20.
15 in places. It's
Who
50.
pulled her over?
It was,
A ranger.
Ranger.
Oh, OST? But it could be RAFTA further, when we're not in Picken. Anyway, yeah, I'd like to discuss that with Aspen, and you've got the list pretty well covered.
Jeffrey?
I'm still acoustic. I'm still in a single speed. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Stay pure.
Just hang around for a while. You'll be really up to
Well, I'll
speed.
try.
I'm gonna go fixie next. So
There you go. All right, any other topics of interest for our discussion with
Sure,
City of
let's hear.
Aspen?
Well, it seems like a
Covered it?
very full agenda. I want to talk
pretty
about
full.
electrification of transportation, like the downtowners and hotel shuttles, but
But they're planning to do that, aren't they, anyway?
it'd be fun to see where they are with it. You can put it on the list and as a by the way,
I wish
doing
their
anything-
downtowner shuttles and the Acra shuttles drivers would obey the speed limit signs, the parking signs.
Yeah, all that.
Oh,
Yep,
yeah,
agreed.
they whip.
I saw a Carbondale downtowner packed the other day. I was so excited to see it.
It's-
At City
it
Market.
is
It
Great.
was great.
I think it's a great service, but the
Me too.
drivers need to realize they're on the road just like the rest of us.
I wonder if they're all former taxi drivers.
Road
'cause they're the
warriors.
worst.
In New York
No, here.
or Washington DC.
Like, nobody will cut you off faster than High Mountain. All right. Is that good?
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
about 4 hours of meeting.
So John,
You said 7.
you'll talk with Pete, and I'll catch up with Rachel, and we'll see if there's gaps. We've got 2 weeks. Okay.
Tell them
Thank
to
you very
have
much.
lunch waiting.
Well, dinner, 4 to 6,
Oh,
right?
dinner.
Do you want me to
Um,
recuse from this next item?
Oh, are you recused from the other?
Well, her son is
Well,
an
Rio's
applicant.
still an applicant.
So you didn't vote on any of the
I haven't
appointments
voted
to
on
this,
any of it.
board? Yeah, that makes sense. Do you want me to call you back?
Sure.
Okay. Thanks, Rancy. All right, Charlotte, and then Anne, if Anne is here. Are you Anne? Okay.
Hey, Charlotte.
Welcome.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
So Charlotte will give us the lay of the land for this board appointment, and then I'll do some brief intro for you. Yeah, nice to see you. Hi,
Thank
Charlotte.
you. Hi. Good to see you, all of you. So, we advertised for 2 weeks for Healthy Rivers and Streams. And we had Anne Cahoon. She submitted an application. And then you all agreed to consider Rio and Matthew from the previous interviews. So they are both aware of the opportunity and are willing to serve as well. So once we fill this vacancy, then well, actually, there's 2, Chris and Bill, who are both resigning. So there's 2 renewals there, and so we'll have 2 vacancies. So there'll need to be 2 choices.
But has he resigned formally? I thought it was this fall.
What's that?
It's at the end of his term, right? He's resigning.
That's
Resignation take
Next
effect.
week,
September 9th.
September 9th.
That's,
I knew it was this fall.
Yeah.
Forgot it was September already.
Or the week after,
Really
because
fall,
their
yeah.
next meeting is the 3rd Thursday.
so
Okay. Great.
we'll let you interview Anne, and then hopefully we can get a decision soon so that Healthy Rivers can have a full board.
Okay, sounds great. Anne, welcome. Thank you for applying. And just so you know, Francie Jacoba recused because her son is one of the applicants as well, so she's not going to participate in this decision. And what we usually do in these interviews is invite you to tell us about yourself and what you know about the board and why you're interested in serving on it, and then we'll go around the table and see if anyone has questions. And then usually we have a discussion at a later date about who we want to appoint for this and other boards. Charlotte will keep you informed of our decision, and then it comes to us in a formal appointment that we vote on at a regular voting meeting. And I'm sure we'll do that quickly since we have some turnover on this board and they're very active, have a lot going on. So welcome, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and I appreciate the opportunity to meet with you. It's actually just been very interesting to sit in the back and listen.
No second thoughts?
I hope you don't mind. I'm going to read some notes.
Sure.
I have an 8-year-old who is sick all night, and neither of us slept, so I'm a little bit less. I worry that I'll take up a lot of time if I don't stay focused. But my background is in chemistry. I've applied that training to water testing and research projects in different contexts. Most recently, I spent 3 years working with the Billion Oyster Project in New York City. It's a large-scale conservation initiative to restore the oyster reef in New York Harbor. That work was remarkable because it was this combination of education, science, and community engagement, and the results of they truly have restored an ecosystem in what was previously a dead zone. So a single adult oyster can filter over 50 gallons of water a day, and through this student-driven research and restoration, the harbor went from having nothing but algae, and which used up all the dissolved oxygen, to a place where now they've opened a beach in Brooklyn where people can swim in the water. I ran a research station on the Upper East Side where we measured oyster growth and we tested water. We pulled up cages, and we, with students and parents, specifically from the Buckley School on the Upper East Side, and we found seahorses and fish and sea squirts, and it was so inspiring to see these students see this living ecosystem in their backyard. It showed me the incredible value of introducing people to the harbor and how they began to value it and then want to conserve it. The experience taught me the power of connecting science with the community. This was an incredible, the community science component of the Billion Oyster Project is something I'd love to share with the Roaring Fork Valley in some capacity and bring those lessons here. But at the same time, I also, since I read about this opportunity in the newspaper, I've been studying about this board and the work and water conservation in this area. And I'm just beginning to scratch the surface of a very complex issue in this region. I've been studying the history of the board, the science of the watershed, and the broader case studies. I've looked at policy in California where privatization of water rights and profit-driven agriculture have left entire communities without access to drinkable water, even municipal water to take showers or flush their toilets. It's examples like this that show how crucial it is to protect headwaters like ours here, and provide water not just to our community, but to the Colorado River basin beyond the Front Range. It's an incredibly important board. I'm really learning a lot about it. As far as my qualifications, I'd approach this position as a research scientist, analyzing, listening, understanding the perspectives of all of the people and who in this community and those different perspectives, and then working collaboratively towards solutions. I'd bring energy and my curiosity, and most importantly, my deep respect for the legacy of stewardship that's preserved this valley. I feel it's a very big privilege to live here. My entire family does. I have 2 little boys, and I want to give back by contributing to this community, and I would be honored to be a part of such an important program as protecting such a valuable resource, our water.
Wonderful, thanks, Anne. I did some work with Clean Ocean Action and Riverkeeper over in that area in the past, yeah.
Yes.
Questions for Anne? I can start
gonna
here and I'll go
I was going
around.
to start with a Poughkeepsie joke, but
Poughkeepsie.
What did your reading come across Grizzly, and what was your take on Grizzly? If part of your research into Grizzly Reservoir. And you said you did some work.
I've done a massive amount of research, and I'm worried that I don't know what Grizzly Reservoir is. Yeah. But if you put it in maybe some context, where is it located?
Fishkill.
Oh, in Fishkill. Oh, I don't know. I don't know the
Fish-
Grizzly Reservoir. And
No, you're
actually,
good,
at that time, I don't know it.
Oh, sorry.
But I will say, it's just almost unanimous that we're just the Hudson River Conservancy, is just they're just taking dams down. They're removing reservoirs. They're taking them down. The science is very clear. They're destroying ecosystems, and I think. When I've talked to moms in my kids' school, they talk about the need for reservoirs. There was this issue at Maroon Creek and Castle Creek. And I think there just wasn't you know, there's an education component to understanding the destructive aspects of reservoirs and diversion action when you understand the complexity of and elegance of our natural systems. And the fact that the Crystal Creek has been untouched is a beautiful example of something that we can study and show, you know, how elegant that science is when it's undisturbed. The board has done incredible work working with other agencies to look at flow release rates and adjusting them so that they're not just important for human use, but for the ecosystem. And it's powerful, I think, to educate people on that so that they know. But I'm sorry I didn't know the reservoir and fish kill.
Thank you.
I'll go this side.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I was actually, we had a toxic mineral release up in Lincoln Creek, which is a tributary to the Roaring Fork River. And the toxicity levels, copper levels and other heavy metals,
Aluminum.
killed enough, most recently I think 200 fish in the Grizzly Reservoir, which is a place you'll have to visit before the summer's over.
Okay.
And so that's our biggest water, that might be our biggest water quality issue because it feeds the Roaring Fork, which is, what's the percentage of the Roaring Fork for the entire Colorado River? It's much higher than I thought. Our watershed puts a lot of water into the Colorado, which feeds 40 million
8 to
people.
12%.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right. So anyway, we do have issues like that, so it'd be fascinating for you to get involved and learn about that. So everything you said was music to my ears. It's fascinating, you're right. You'd be amongst other people who are really committed and knowledgeable, so there's a lot.
It seems like an incredible
there,
board
yeah.
historically.
My question for you is, you haven't been here that long, so there's a lot to learn, which is great. You're clearly a quick study. But will you stay? Will you be able to see out your term? Are you going to be here in 4 years?
Oh, I will be here for the rest of my life.
That's what my mom said.
I mean, barring unforeseen circumstances, I've found my home and one of the most incredible communities I've ever been a part of.
Your children won't let you leave.
That's the case. That is absolutely the case.
Right, great.
It
Well,
will
thank
change
you.
their lives.
Yeah, that was
It
my
already
biggest
has.
concern is just, also focus. You've got young kids and I don't know what the time commitment has been. When I was on, it wasn't egregious, but I know they're doing more now than when I was on that board. So just the time commitment and then as long as you think you're going to be here long enough to really participate and make it to the meetings. Do we have a limit on number of absences? I think we have some rules. Three absences and then you're on probation or something.
I think I
Board
made it
can
through
recommend
high school with a
replacement.
certificate that I didn't miss a day.
Okay. and a billion oysters sounds pretty good.
I would love to invite Murray Fisher here one day. I think you'd all appreciate him very much. He talks about how he would have never been able to do this project if he tried to do it through legislation. But he did it through a school, and he did it through students, and he did it through community initiatives. And it's a powerful example of how it can.
That works here too.
I've never been in an environment where I've met so many incredible stewards of the land. There's just it's a neat place to be where you have this like-minded desire to protect this incredible place.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I want to thank you for applying, and I hope that your child is feeling better.
Thank you.
I know how that is. Well, Kelly definitely knows. She's got an 8-year-old living in her house and a 6-year-old. They just have grandkids, and they're usually with their moms and dads when they're not feeling well. And Greg, I'm surprised you didn't ask her if you can create a habitat for good aquatic species. What can you do to get rid of a noxious aquatic species. We have invasive species.
Like the zebra mussel.
Yes, that's one of Greg's
I thought you were
favorites.
talking about like people in like pink lycra.
My daughter
Microwave
skis, water skis in pink lycra.
Obnoxious
Pink what-
aquatic
it
species.
is. Actually, you can,
Obnoxious aquatic species.
you can see her on the water, that's for sure.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I think your background in chemistry, especially when we do have issues in our rivers with heavy metals because of the old mining industry and the natural geology, which can be with low water levels and high temperatures, really affects our aquatic life. So I think those would be interesting things to bring to the Healthy Rivers and Streams Board. So I want to thank you for applying. And I think Kelly kind of laid out the process, and I don't think we have anyone else to interview.
Oh.
We have 2 seats to fill.
He did.
Yes,
Two seats to fill.
Thank you. Thanks. It was nice to meet you.
It was nice to meet
Do
you.
we have to call you doctor because you have a PhD?
No.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think they do that with PhDs.
A few more questions.
Administrative experience. Have you ever run a nonprofit or anything like that? So you've been a scientist.
I was the chair of a sustainability committee that I built at Buckley School. And in a PhD capacity, I ran my first boss's lab.
Well,
To the detriment of, it took a lot of work.
It's a learning experience.
It was.
right. Thank you. Well, thanks.
Okay, and I just want to clarify, so Ann lives in District 2, because that is one
She
of
does.
the,
And
seats
that's
we'll have open when Chris-
one of the seats that's
Is
available.
the requirement to
that's
stay
right,
in
that's right.
District 2? If, we will stay here long-term, and we are looking to purchase further down Valley, a home.
I
Is
don't
that
know
a
what
requirement?
How far
We'll,
down?
We have some flexible nature of the Healthy Rivers Board as far as in the county and out of the county, but we'll need
And
some clarity
I
on
can
that.
check with Lisa on that. I know that the most
We're
recent
moved things around.
appointment took up a Roaring Fork watershed
Position.
spot.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
yeah, I can check with Lisa, who's our liaison.
okay.
Great.
All right, good to know. So nice to meet you.
It was great to meet
Thanks
you,
for
and
coming
thank
in.
you all for
Get
the
some
work that you
sleep.
do.
Did you send Francie a message?
Not yet.
She's wandering down the street. Oh, here she's coming back again.
Okay.
She
I
doesn't
was
get
watching
pulled
her
over.
pace
I
out
hope
there.
the sheriff doesn't pull her over and cite her for,
Yeah, loitering in front of
loitering
our
on the side
building.
of the street.
She's probably not gonna go out to the sidewalk because those kids, oh, they're in school now.
Okay, review of future agendas. John, you have anything?
You are
I
excited.
actually have
5
all
minutes.
of mine in the next kind of scheduling discussion, so I'll
Okay.
just leave it open for the board.
Okay, let's see, I will note, let's see, we're gonna have, John, if you wanna add into future agenda notes, I'll just recall our conversation with public health about needing to sort of get a crew together on that. And then, public discussion of code
Parking.
changes to, parking in county
County
right of
roadways.
as well.
I have 2 really quick things.
Go
The
right
first one is a correction on spelling. I don't know who Livy Borst is.
Livy. That's what we call him. Livy.
We're gonna call him Livy for now. It's L-I-V-I, and I think it's L-E-V-I, but just a technical.
Which date did that show up
On
on?
September 9th, work session.
Thanks.
And I caught it. I'm like, Livy, who's, but I'm gonna change his name now. We're gonna get him a new name
He's been
tag.
called worse.
Especially
when he was a
when he was
sheriff.
with the SO.
Right.
And then the other one was on the 10th at our regular meeting, the Polo Road, Glenwood Springs, about purchasing first right of refusal. And that's item number 5. Is that the one we were brought up briefly in part of our discussion today that was gonna be coming back to us? We haven't had a discussion ahead of time on that one.
Yeah, I believe that is the one that we were looking at bringing back.
Because I knew we had kind of given staff direction, we don't need to bring them back to us before. If there's like a quickness, we need to get it done quickly. So I'm assuming this has a tight time frame or something, that we didn't have a discussion
Yeah, we have
prior?
a certain amount of time that we can respond, and we don't have any execs coming up in
Okay.
September. That
Okay,
was the rub.
okay, great,
Yeah.
then I'm good, thank you.
I just have a
Thanks,
quick
Patty.
one.
Other future agendas?
Yeah.
Transit,
I still didn't see the flying dog on there. Did we decide that they didn't need another meeting? I thought they did.
They do.
Kelly thought they did, and so did Lydia.
And Suzanne is out, and so is Kara, so I've not heard back on
Yeah,
that.
they're gonna just clean up the conditions of approval,
Yeah,
changing square footage, et cetera.
the extension of vested rights was.
Yeah, it was still, that was kind of in connection, yeah.
I think Lydia thought it was the 10th.
Well, it's not on the 10th.
Definitely not on
Oh,
the
my.
10th. But it looks like we probably have time. There's only 8 items. That's amazing. Last week we had
That's our
22.
norm, so we don't need to be trying to go for the record
22 last
again.
week.
And we still got out like at a decent time, if I recall.
I know. It was great management, Kelly. Great management.
It was 6 o'clock, not 8 o'clock.
Yeah. But yes, you are correct.
At the end of the day, it would be really nice, John.
Yeah, because if it's on the
Since I'll
10th, it
have to
needs to
recuse, it
be,
would be great if you
Oh,
could
at
schedule
the
it
end of
at
the
the
day.
end of the day.
if it's supposed to come back on the 10th, it needs to be, the notice needs to get
Yeah.
out there, because that's next week.
Others.
That's all for me.
Okay. Did we want to try and do any joint meetings this fall or invite? We'd had some conversation in the past about like inviting Senator Catlin to come. I'm looking to see if there's still interest in that. I don't think he's come before us since he's been elected.
He is not, and so we could make that invitation. We usually try and do a Lake County joint meeting before the pass closes if the board's interested. We've made it a tradition to meet in the middle there. So if the board's interested in doing that, this would probably be a good time to reach out and look to set that up.
I know we have lots of other things we need to schedule as well, so if there's
Yeah.
not anything pressing, yes.
I would second them. Really nice to meet with Senator Catlin, before the legislative session. It'd be nice to get his presence here.
Great.
I will see him a month. He's really fun to hang out with.
So we're not going to Leadville or
What?
Twin Lakes?
Having steak with him.
I'm not
second
going to
prize.
do the steak.
You guys.
I don't like
What's that,
socializing
Patty?
with those
We're not gonna do a
He's not
Lake
on the
County
club committee.
or we usually try and get something set up with Lake County or Gunny or those county commissioners, but nothing's gone by the wayside.
Yeah, Gunnison is preferred, like if there's really specific topics, so we haven't been meeting with them as much, but Lake County we've been doing every fall.
Yeah,
We could talk to Gunnison about their opening up the roads to ATV traffic with 2 people at the meeting. Jonathan was in Washington and Liz and I forget the other woman's name.
Laura,
Past Laura.
did they go to Savepa?
Yeah.
Good.
but we may
But
wanna
in-
talk to them, they
by,
may not wanna talk to
a,
us.
Consent agenda. No public input whatsoever. Pretty shocking
Wait a minute.
and weird.
I'm confused, that they've opened up all of their county roads to ATVs or the ones over in Marble on the
The
Lake
ones
King
in
Loop?
Marble, I don't know if it was the whole county. I thought it was just the Marble ones. And that whole parking situation over there is still an incredible mess. And so I think that's what John said, wasn't it? That they opened up their county roads in Marble to ATVs, isn't that what he said? Actually, it was somebody else who told me that. But anyway, yeah, so that would be something we could talk to them about, if we wanted to. I mean, they can only go as far as our county road, but,
So, I mean, so far with Liz Smith, the joint Gunnison agenda has been public lands, wolves, because they're also facing wolves, and then Gorp. That would be my 3 for Gunnison.
I mean, we've had
In no
more of a
particular order.
long-standing history with them on wild and scenic and
Mhm.
land acquisitions and some.
Sounds like there's more on the agenda for them than there would be for Lake County. I'm trying to think of what we talked to
Right.
Lake County about that says, these sound fairly pressing and of high interest. I'd support getting with Gunnison.
You look
Kelly,
like
it
you had
might-
something to
And
say.
sorry, and DTRS, another thing. I mean, so Gunnison's been in the room over the past year as well. Sorry.
Been in the,
Donaldson's been in this room?
Yeah, Gunnison was here for DTRS for the signal on McClure.
oh,
Right, the-
yeah.
The cell tower.
Yeah, thank you.
So
Oh,
his,
staff, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Staff.
Not commissioners.
yeah, in the recent past, it's been more about whether there's a pending policy decision that would be jointly made. Kelly, it might be good for you to reach out to your counterpart, the chair, and explore some of these topics and whether they're going to be open to meeting on them.
Including the tower at the top of McClure's.
Okay. Happy to do.
Lake County's always open to meeting with us and having lunch.
Lake, the agenda would be wildfire, I think. And updates on La Plata and how we did in terms of joint mutual aid.
Still only like 23 acres. It's amazing.
There's a lot of people at that fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rain helped.
Yeah.
too.
Okay, happy to do that. Other future agenda items?
You know, Kelly, it might be helpful too for me to go into the other scheduling items and kind of the dates on those, at least the ones that we know that may help inform
Yeah.
some of these other conversations.
And let
too.
me, I just got a text from Rachel, so let me see what she shared. She said, wonder if we should talk about federal cutbacks impacting Valley Health and Human Service nonprofits, perhaps any upcoming 2026 legislative efforts. We could probably share what our legislative priorities are for the state level at least. And then she said we should probably get a little more focused on water, but that could be for a future meeting. So we can kind of brainstorm a little bit better with them on the 15th about what that might look like. Sound good? Okay.
We're probably going to need to narrow that list down a little bit.
Yeah.
That's my
Well,
sense.
some things we'll know more about rec next week, right? Let me go back to this list.
Having a hard time sitting here with the Harvard educated, the Vassar educated. I feel
I know,
woefully
right?
under-diplomaed over here. Sorry, I'm not allowed to be funny. You guys make all the jokes.
Okay. All right, we can move on into, does anyone want a break? We're scheduled for a little break.
No,
5-minute stretch?
I just had a break, so.
Oh, that's true. All right, let's do just quick, back in 5 minutes, please, and then we'll resume our.
Anyway.
admin. All right, hi everyone. Welcome back to the Pickens County Board of County Commissioners work session on Tuesday, September 2nd. We are going to have some discussion about potential upcoming trips, visits, etc. for commissioner business and get our schedules organized and division of tasks among our boards. So, John Peacock, I'm going to turn it over to you to give us the lay of the land.
Great, thanks, Kelly. And I think dividing and conquering is going to be the theme here, but we're going to start off with some couple things we need some time from y'all to do together, and then we'll get into the visits for the airport terminal as well as working agreements and I'm sorry, and DC trip.
You're just so used to
I was
saying
just
that.
reading, I know. So we do need follow-up for Vision 2050. We had started that conversation. We didn't get really past housing, and there were a couple of other items really that we wanted to get some policy guidance on related to the comp plan. Based on our first discussion, the community development staff is really looking for almost a full day. It's really 9 to 3, kind of a 6-hour window to go through some of those policies and around energy. I think there's going to be a lot of conversation around that in terms of
Do you
cost.
want to be sharing this?
I do want to be sharing that. These are really unsophisticated slides too. I will.
Love the graphics.
I know there's no cartoons or anything.
No,
was
it's
just
fine.
throwing
I
it
just
out.
wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's
And
like,
it won't
I know
be
sometimes it's not my emails, at least this time, which I've gotten a few panicked ones. Your emails up.
It won't be here, right? Not going to be here.
Well, that is up to you all. Where and where we can get, but I think it'd be good to either try and find a Monday or Thursday seems to work well for the board for these bigger windows, but wanted to start throwing out some dates for that. Similarly, there's a request for follow-up on the DISC and working agreements discussion. I think that's probably more of a 2 to 3 hour. We could do that in the morning or an afternoon. I did catch Greg real quick this morning saying we we need to set up a time still to bring Greg through the materials that we brought all of you through, so we're all at the same place for that. So we do want to make sure we have some time to do that. Melissa and I will probably need a couple of hours with
2
Greg
to
for
3
that.
hours. Greg, you must have said a lot.
Well, no, 2 to 3 hours with you guys, and probably an hour or two with Greg, depending on how deep he wants to go.
I can get through it quicker.
It's quite interesting.
Well, that's what I hear. Looking forward to it. I'm very
Interesting. That's a good choice of words.
excited. So are you looking for date to do
So,
that?
yeah, I want to start, and we can come back to this if we want to talk, because there are some other harder dates in there. So why don't I come back to
Yeah, let's
this,
put the hard
just so
dates
you
in.
know. The difficult ones I can't get to for some reason.
They're so difficult.
Oh, look at that. There we go. So these are coming up really, really quick. And the first one, we do have an alternative date on if we need to move, because we're talking next week at this point.
Oh, sure.
But
Sorry.
yeah, Mike. So we are setting up some site visits to terminals that have been identified by our design team as terminals to go visit for idea gathering. Things we do want to do, maybe things we don't want to do. Here in Aspen, we are trying to get these done very quickly up front. As the board knows, we're on a pretty compressed time frame for design. We'd like to get some of these ideas up front so they can be early on in the conceptual design phase. The airports that we're looking at, we're either looking at our first or last trip, depending on availability, to Portland, Oregon to visit PDX. That's one of our architecture firms' signature projects. Jackson Hole, Wyoming, that is another mountain resort community that has a fairly recent project. And then Bozeman, Montana, that's one that the board may recall has been talked about a little bit as,
I love it.
as a potential to get some ideas on. We did look for some back updates, understanding, whether it be for PDX or PDX, which is Portland, or Jackson, which would be in that range, October 6th to 10th. I've noted which dates would avoid board meetings within those windows. We're looking for 1 to 2 commissioners to go. If we have a quorum, we will have to make reasonable accommodations for any members of the public that also want to go. Yeah.
Question, reasonable accommodations, does that mean we have to buy them a plane ticket or just tell them what we're doing and where we're going?
It's beyond just telling them what we're doing or where we're going. And so how that has typically been interpreted, and we don't have Rye here, is that you have to make some reasonable accommodations to include travel and that sort of thing if you're going off-site.
When we had a site visit at the top of Aspen Mountain, it was, this is where it is, this is what it is, you're welcome to join us. We didn't put them in the snowcat and drive them up there.
I understand.
Let's clarify
yeah.
that. And by the way, the 6th to the 10th or 12th, that week of October, is a regular meeting and a work session meeting.
And it's Mountain 2030 in Breckenridge.
Right, yeah, those are tough weeks.
And
both
it's
those.
Raptor.
Yeah, but what I was noting is October 9th, and if you went the 9th and came back on the 10th, you would avoid the meeting dates, I believe.
But you have 6th to 10th down there also.
Yeah, they were giving windows of time to schedule
I see,
within.
I
So
see.
it's not for all 4 days. It'd just
Okay.
be get out, do the visit, and you're coming back. It's usually
And
one
had
night.
some discussion about canceling meetings that week because so many people had
Things.
other,
Mm-hmm.
we were already lacking a quorum potentially. So
That's right,
it was like,
Kelly.
should we
Yeah.
be choosing that time to travel with whoever can travel
Mm-hmm.
if there's not gonna be quorums for our
Yeah, it's the
meetings?
Water Congress too.
On
Yes,
both,
Greg.
both of the PDX weeks we've got, Francie and I both have the RAFTA meeting on both the 11th of September and the 9th of October. So there's a RAFTA meeting on that Thursday, in addition to our regular board meetings that week. So that's a tough one. I really want to go to Portland. September, Core is having its expo, and they want me on a panel on the 12th, so September's out. I'd love to
Can
go,
I-
though.
Can I hold walking through individual agendas? Can we get
Sure.
like the full slate?
What I'm hoping is we
of-
find other choices, though, is what I'm hoping.
Okay, but it may not work. We just have to figure out what all of it is, and then I think maybe
Okay,
the
go ahead,
best way
proceed.
is if you have a preference on a location, if someone has a preference on a date, then we can
Yeah.
start to plug in people there.
And we're trying to coordinate a lot more than just the board schedules. And if we push these out, we're pushing design out.
You mean
I
there's
will just
more in the
say.
world besides us?
I am
Dang.
not for me, Francie, but yes. And then this is going to be the
Can we go back to that? September 24th is the employee picnic.
September 24th is the employee picnic. That is correct.
And, one year I
Yeah.
was the only one was there, and employees feel that when the board isn't there, and I think we were kind of looking at being there, but maybe not. Maybe that's not a priority.
We've got a lot to fit in here. Yeah. And then unfortunately, we're still not nailed down on our DC trip, our next DC trip, which would be in October. That's really being driven by when we can coordinate schedules between key folks at Department of Transportation, FAA, as well as visits to our delegation. We try and get those done in generally a 2-day window if we can. But those are difficult schedules to align.
Does the government remaining open affect the
That would-
scheduling on?
It absolutely would.
Well, then they'll have a lot of free time for us to go visit.
I don't know if we
gotta
still
go through that
entertain
again,
visits
God.
with constituents, but I think it's possible.
There's a lot of unknowns, in here right now. I will say, in talking to Jessica, she did have kind of a strategic perspective that there's value in having some consistency from visit to visit, but also some representation that the whole board is supporting. So having some maybe different pairings going forward with some consistency from visit to visit, so that there is continuity of message and continuity of discussion. And so strategically, she thought that, that would be a good place for the board to be depending on schedules. Unfortunately, we're probably going to know the date in October closer to the end of September.
Or
at this
2 days
point.
before the date in October.
It could be really close, and I wish I could change that. That's just not how the schedules work.
Does it look like beginning, end, any idea?
We have no indication.
Don't know. I wish I could tell you. And as we narrow it down, I'll be sure to communicate those windows, but I think it might be important to try and identify some either process we want to use to, because we're going to have these visits going 2 to 4 times a year, is my sense. And so having some continuity as well as being able to mix up, I think is going to be important as we pair off. So.
Francie, did you have a question?
Did you ask me if I had a question?
Yes.
No.
Oh, you look like you were going.
Oh, I don't know what I was doing, sorry.
So
Okay.
those are the 3 things or 4 things I want to get coordinated is a mini retreat around Vision 2050, follow up on our DISC and working agreement, figuring out which commissioners and maybe based on schedules we want to mix up a little bit on the terminal visits, and then trying to figure out how we want to figure out the DC visits going forward and how we're scheduling those.
Patty?
Well, I'm just gonna put it out there. I don't have any idea what I'm doing in September or October. So you guys set dates and I'll do my best to be there. I mean, I have a lot going on already in September, but things I can cancel or not go to depending upon what the board decides. As far as DC, I'll be really clear with my efforts with NACO and connections with the Department of Transportation, with FAA, with their legislative delegation. I'm going.
Patty, come on.
I-
We're gonna have a collaborative
No, I'm
conversation.
putting it out there, so you guys can collaborate, but, and I think it would be great to rotate others who come along. But, I'm putting in a lot of effort, traveling to and from, and meeting outside of things with NACO on the airport issues, and, the Transportation Policy Voting Group with NACO, and the Subcommittee for Airports, and it's really beneficial for me, well, for the county, for me to be present there, sharing the information with that organization that's really closely connected with our transportation grants and issues in DC. But if the board chooses others to go, they can fill in the gaps.
Maybe we could split NACO and airport.
I don't,
You know what I mean? Like have you be the person who always goes to NACO, to the NACO stuff, which definitely is, you've been doing. I'm
so
just
you're not
saying
going
that-
to DC to meet with, whatever you decide.
No, I'm just
And I
saying
will-
maybe that would be
I will
one
make
way to
other
do it.
decisions with my time.
We're very appreciative of all your.
Well, I know you are, but, I'm working hard on it, and if you guys make another choice, then that's up to you to make, and I'll make another choice. And as far as terminals, if somebody can't go and there's a space, I'll see if I can work it out, but, you guys will be in the long run for the terminal, and I won't, so, I'm willing to hear what you have to say when you come back.
All right, thank you. I was gonna suggest we try to nail down a Vision 2050 time. Perhaps if you wanna put up the other weeks so we can try and schedule around that. Be
Those,
helpful. Looks like there's nothing up there for the weekend of the 13th through the 17th
September?
of September.
Oh,
wait,
I thought you were
sorry,
talking
hold
about
on.
September. I was asking. Oh, you're talking about September.
Sorry, 15th through 19th is a week that's not listed up here. That could potentially be time for Vision 2050 retreats.
I'm still unclear what month you're talking
I'm
about.
talking about September.
Oh, September. Okay, thanks.
17th, I've got tentatively a Pitkin Eagle joint meeting. Is that still happening?
That's a new one to me.
that was and we need to double check on that. I think that was the potential celebration of the Three Meadows, the picnic on the Three Meadows, so.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what
Ryan,
that was.
Have you heard anything more on that? I have not. Okay. We'll have to double check on where that stands.
Got it, so that's the 17th.
And the 15th, we have a joint meeting with the city.
Right.
And the 18th,
From
we have
4 to
Northwest
6.
Cog, but
Okay, so my computer just had to reboot. I'm almost there.
Yours reboots a lot.
That's, you're talking about the 2050 taking a day somewhere in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it, yeah.
Would the 19th work? Oh, I have a meeting from 1 to 3 on the
19th,
19th,
I
actually.
have Garfield Clean Energy Board.
18th
Would
works.
the 15th earlier in the day
Works
prior
for me.
to a joint meeting with the city work?
15th and 17th work for me. 15th would be good, because then I'd be up in Aspen for the
so
Aspen
then we go
meeting.
from 9 in the morning till 6 at night.
That might be the,
Yeah,
Yeah, so we'd go probably 9 to 3, you'd have an hour break, and you'd have the joint meeting.
the Aspen meeting
Maybe
starts at
one.
4.
4 to
And
6.
it's scheduled 4 to 6, correct.
Well, I prefer that, because it means I don't have to come to Aspen on another day, but I'll do whatever everybody else wants. I'm open on the 17th and the 18th.
Would this work better as a doodle poll?
Let's just get it done.
I said, you guys pick a date. If I can be there, I'll be there.
What'd you say about that week, Greg, for you?
We have a potential joint meeting on the 17th,
Oh, yeah.
a work session on the 16th. That Monday, I could make that work.
The 15th?
Yeah.
That's our City of Aspen joint meeting from 4 to 6.
Right.
I'm not gonna go to a joint Aspen meeting brain dead after 6 hours of, but if you guys choose to do that,
Yeah, we're down to
would do the
4.
15th.
Who can,
the 15th,
15th works?
15th,
I'm good, 15th.
does that work for you?
Yeah, I
Vision
mean,
2050?
to looking at both John and Kelly, the sense of urgency on the 2050, and maybe you'll say they're unrelated, is the market scan and the landscape stuff that's going on at the state level right now. So,
The 25th of September?
so the answer is yes, the 15th is wonderful. I can say period, or move it to the 8th if staff says it needs to come forward faster. Given
They won't
sort
be
of
ready.
DOLA and OEDIT dates.
Yeah.
I'm not
The
available on the
15th is
8th.
great.
Yeah.
Period.
I can't do the
15th is
8th.
great.
I think it's too much for us to do in one day. I know how this board gets after sitting in meetings for 6 hours straight or 5 hours, going on to another 2-hour meeting with the City of Aspen where we're gonna have probably some interesting discussions. But if the board chooses to do that, I'll make up my mind if I can attend all or both or none.
Okay.
Okay.
Will Kara be back by the 15th?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the materials are prepared because we're
When
ready
would
to
that
cover
start?
those.
9. And then the alternative is a backup date could be the 17th if we don't have a joint confirmed.
I forget what the 17th was again.
It's
so-
the,
Three
it's the
Meadows.
celebration of
Oh,
Three
Three
Meadows.
Meadows. Mhm.
It's also a joint meeting with Eagles, what I thought. There was more than just a celebration, but
And I do not have that on my calendar.
maybe it's.
It was a
maybe
celebration, it
hasn't
was a
risen-
lunch or a barbecue or something on site at Three Meadows.
perhaps it
So
hasn't
if
risen
there's
to the
not a joint
level.
meeting, would the board prefer to do the 17th to avoid the overlap? And then if there is a joint meeting with Eagle, do the 15th?
That works.
Yes, please.
I prefer one long day to having come to Aspen 2 different days.
Well, the joint meeting would be on Cottonwood Pass.
Right,
So
but
it
if we
wouldn't be
change,
Aspen.
if we don't do
He's saying
that.
do it all
and
on
we
Monday.
change yeah, I'd rather do it all in one day. I'd rather be here for our
I've watched
Vision
this board at
2030
the end of the
and
day.
joint meeting with Aspen. In one
I'm
day.
fine
But
either
that's
way.
just
Either
me.
way, I'm gonna
It's
have
just
two
me.
meetings,
I'm
'cause I
just
have
And
one
you
day
have a
after
clear,
that.
you have a clear board meeting?
I'm
Right.
fine with either.
Francie, you have a clear board meeting, a board meeting with Clear, Garfield Clean Energy?
Yeah, not clear, but Garfield Clean Energy. I represent RAFTA on Garfield Clean
Oh.
Energy Board.
Okay, and everyone, I know this is tricky because we're fitting in a lot.
It is clear.
So there will
mostly,
be
but-
some
And that,
packing.
and we can't do the board retreat on the 19th because of the Clear meeting in Kelly.
I have a different meeting scheduled already.
CCAT.
Okay.
There's Wednesday the 17th, but
That's the joint meeting with Three Meadows.
got it.
If it happens.
I think it's scheduled for that day.
Is Gary around? Do you want to text him? See if he knows about the Three Meadows.
I'm putting it on my calendar just in case. And it's like 4 hours up there, or it's a picnic?
What was it? It was.
Yeah, we're gonna try and get more information on it, because I don't have it even on my calendar right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't either.
Well, if Charlotte doesn't have it, then
And
it's
if,
not happening.
that one may have fallen through the cracks, my apologies. As your steward of healthy agenda.
And if we're sending out invitations,
It's
can
a
we
healthy
include
agenda, too.
Kathy,
It is a
Jen, or
healthy
Henry?
agenda, too.
That wouldn't be our
Okay.
choice. That should be Eagles.
Well, we'll talk about it after the meeting.
And then we were looking for a different, shorter follow-up for,
Personalities. I think you should just call it personalities.
which we could
It's
do the
more
week
descriptive
of the
than disc.
29th,
The 9th?
the 29th of September. We're doing a work session on the 30th. I can't remember if other people had,
That's a fifth week. then, right?
conferences that week.
Well,
But that's
I
fifth
have a
week. There's
site
nothing on the
visit
30th.
on the 30th.
No, we are,
We scheduled it?
yes, we
Okay.
rescheduled.
30th, we're doing Cloud
see that.
11 on the top of Ruthie's Run
Yeah,
30th.
on Aspen Mountain.
That's
when,
the
I have that down on the 30th, but
It
that's
is
a
on the
Tuesday.
30th at
This
1
is fifth-
o'clock, and in the
fifth Tuesday.
morning, I have Aspen Chamber Resort Association, and we have a work session that day also on the 30th.
We don't have a work session because it's the 5th.
We do, because we rescheduled from one of the Jewish holidays.
So how can we do the site visit and the,
Because
We're
site
doing the work
visit is
session-
at
work
1. and so
session
we're
in the
supposed to
morning.
do the work session in the morning.
And then we're going up to the site
okay, what
visit
time
in
is the work
afternoon.
session? I don't have it on my calendar.
It's on future agendas at 10:30.
Thank you.
Can I confirm that we don't have a site visit to Cloud 10 on the 10th? It was on my
We
calendar.
don't.
Okay, got it.
10:30.
It is scheduled for 1 o'clock. on the
Okay.
30th.
Okay.
I got it on there now.
So-
1 o'clock on the 30th.
Why isn't it coming
Are we
from-
looking at the 29th? I think everyone's looking at their calendars.
I'm just sort of
Um,
skipping these other weeks
yeah,
to
yeah.
fill in the
So would
these
that be
group, whole board appointments.
better in the morning, like a 9 to noon, or in the afternoon?
If we do the middle of the day, we don't have so much traffic.
Or there are 3 hours in the middle of the day I skipped over, that's true.
11 to 2?
Driving in morning rush hour.
11 to
2 with
10.
lunch?
My favorite. Or yours.
11 to 2 with lunch on the 29th.
I said, you schedule them enough. If I can show up, I'll show up.
That works for me.
This is the DSC.
What are you doing? What's your secret agenda that you're doing?
What's the DSC?
See? I just may not come.
To a meeting? Why not?
Because, okay, let's just keep
Okay.
moving here.
What time is it again?
is this
Did you
called?
suggest
DSC?
on the
11
3
to 2
hours.
on the 29th.
11 to 2.
And this is a work session, what do you call
It's
this?
a
Disc.
board
Disc.
retreat.
Gonna be a mini, I keep
Therapy
calling these
session?
mini retreats, yeah.
Okay.
And I guess for both the Vision 2050 and DISC, last time we did them here, there was some consternation about that. Do we want a different location, or?
Jesus, what happened? Do we wear costumes or something?
Well, we did it in here. I think it felt, yeah, I think
No, we did it in
we
Maroon
talked
Bells.
about, well, we did one in Maroon Bells and then we did Vision
Vision,
2050
yeah.
down
Yeah.
here.
We did that
on
as
that
part of our
same
regular
day.
work session.
What's that?
That was part of a regular work session.
Yeah, we had it kind of overlapping. Now, we could look at a place like Aces, we could look at library, we could look at a number of places. I just want to get some input just so the board's happy.
Portland Airport?
Good luck.
I think
do it
that
in
maybe the
Jackson Hall.
disc conversation might merit an off-site location. Personally, the Vision 2050, we need some AV technology with like
You
good
need that for
acoustics.
disc,
and-
too.
Aspen Institute has really nice
That's true.
AV.
They do. Yeah.
It's a really nice place.
Could we look
Very
into that?
expensive place.
It's expensive.
How about the Dunaway room?
You like the library?
For Vision
All the
2050?
I hope somebody else
Patty?
can decide this. Do we all need to choose the location? Sorry.
Well, I choose boring places like
I liked
here.
the Hoffman,
That's-
too.
Yeah.
I thought that was nice.
I'm not driving through the school traffic to get through the roundabout at 9 and, oh, no, it's noon. What was it, 11 to 2?
Well, it depends on which one you're talking about.
No, when you're going out in the morning with school kids and going to the school.
No, I mean, it
straight.
depends on which retreat you're talking about. One of them is the morning and one of them is
Oh,
midday.
yeah.
Well, it sounded like Vision 2050, maybe we wanted to keep the conversation, the first conversation is to keep it in here, and then I heard maybe either going to Dunaway Room or Aspen Institute. Dunaway, I think, is struggling with AV right now, so that'd be my only hesitation with that one. I think either, the only Kasha and Aspen Institute is that it's expensive to go there, but they do have the good AV and, it gets you
And really good
you
food.
out. And they do
We've
have
had
good
trouble
food.
with AV.
Really
at
good,
the
healthy food.
What about
Institute
the,
for ACRA meetings. We've had
does the
trouble
Red
with
Brick
AV.
Conference Center have AV? The Red Brick
I don't
School,
know.
they've got a nice conference room that's small, so it's not a huge,
Who, where?
They're small.
the Red Brick, on the west end of the Red Brick. That might be
They
an
better
option.
have good AV with grassroots in there and a radio station.
That's on the other end of the building, you never know. Just a
Okay.
thought, that may be a possible, or a hotel.
Well,
This
just see
is
what's
why
available.
this is why, never mind.
Look at
This is why
Hoffman,
we have
too.
an hour for this conversation.
Okay. So we've got 2050
We've
and
thrown out a
DSC
few
dates
ideas.
locked.
Yeah, we've thrown out a few ideas. We'll
Okay.
see what's available. It will narrow itself down.
Okay, thank you. We're getting closer on dates, so there's that.
Yeah.
So that's 2050.
So now you have the
DSC.
big list. I think it is very difficult to conduct public meeting kind of stuff on an overnight trip and such with if a quorum of the board is going. So I think it is generally better practice and makes us less exposed if a quorum is not attending. We can certainly explore the feasibility of that if that's really what the board wants to do, but I think it'd be staff's recommendation that you try and find 1 to 2 members that want to go and come report back. You can rotate that around if you want. I think each of these airports has some really interesting things going on, whether it's how they represent community character, environmental pieces, mass timber construction, those sorts of things that we'll probably be looking at.
Okay.
Well, I've been to the Bozeman Airport, so I'll be happy to give that up to other people.
Okay. I was gonna maybe suggest, if folks have like a top priority interest, we voice those and see how much coalescence there is around. I think we've heard Patty's. I heard Greg say you'd like to go to Portland.
I'd like to go to Portland and Jackson and Bozeman in that order.
That's helpful, thank you. I'd personally like to go to DC. It's a little tricky for me if I don't have enough.
Yeah.
Is that on the airport list, or did you shift to something else?
Well, I'm just looking at all of our trips. That's a little trickier for me, so that's what I'd like to try and plan for, but And I'd love to go with Patty, since she and I have talked about it for 7 years. So that's what my top
I
priority
said,
would
anybody
be.
who can't make it the airport terminal, let me know, and I can fill in as the second person.
Jeffrey?
I think Jeffrey as the architect would be beneficial.
Love to do Jackson and Bozeman, I guess would be the first choices, no particular order, and those two, the smallers. Like to see Portland for the cross-laminated timber. And if we're accompanied by mechanical and structural rather than architectural, that would be fun too. I don't know who from the design team is actually on these, but my preference would be to hang out with the geeks rather than the guys that draw in Bumwad.
Well, given that ZGF is
Yeah, they're gonna
headquartered in
spend-
Portland, we're probably gonna get, I'd imagine, a full court press while
Cool.
we're there.
Hope so. We're about to give them a lot of money.
Folks that are off list.
Yeah.
Some of their
Yeah.
subs aren't.
Okay, yeah.
And then, yeah, and similar to Patty's notion, like happy to be the backup to the backup on any DC trips. So I'm happy to play freshman on that.
I assume ZDF is gonna be there showing their airport off to us, right, at Portland? Like,
Yes,
they're gonna put
yeah.
on a show.
Yeah.
I think they'll
Take us on a
accompany us
tour.
to all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be,
Okay.
I would expect we'll get the most detailed information about Portland just because they
Right.
designed
The
it.
one I don't need to go visit is Eagle. So you can leave me out of that one. You guys are free to go.
back of house?
Except for Costco's right there, Jeffrey. We
Wanna
should
see
go
the
to
rifle
Eagle
airport.
Airport.
Francie?
I would love to go to DC, but I'm willing not to. I've definitely put in my time, and I have my little coin for Sabrina.
Still haven't sent it to her?
I'd like to, what? No, Diane asked me to hold on to it so we can use it at the opportune moment.
Oh, I'm meeting with her on Thursday,
With Diane,
Sabrina.
with Sabrina, with NACO.
Well, with the no, with, yeah, with NACO's
Okay,
transportation.
I'd like to go to Portland, and I could go to Jackson, and I don't need to go to Bozeman. I don't think it's been changed a whole lot in the last, it's been a long time, 20 years. But I am available next week, and 26th, 23rd to the 26th of September. I can't be there on the 25th. Well, I could, but.
We have a regular meeting on September 25th.
On September what?
25th.
25th?
We
Oh,
moved
yeah,
it
we do.
from
So
Wednesday to
none of us
Thursday.
can be there then, so, or maybe one of us. Anyway, the 24th.
Employee
We have
picnic.
work session on Tuesday that week and regular meeting on Thursday?
Uh-huh, and employee picnic on Wednesday.
Oh,
Wednesday.
We don't have a work session on the 23rd. We have the employee picnic on Wednesday and our
I'm sorry,
regular.
what'd you say? We don't
Right.
have it then, we what?
Correct. So the 23rd, 24th would avoid the board meetings because
Missed the picnic.
but you missed the picnic. I am not going to go on these, so I will be at the picnic, I think.
The
Ryan,
board
I'm
meeting
open
on the
here.
23rd is
We're gonna-
what? Did you
either
tell
of
me?
or
On
Diane
the 22nd?
these, I think.
No, it's
Yeah.
on the 30th.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have a couple.
We don't have a meeting at all. Now I understand.
Hey, John, I just wanna know why wouldn't you go on that?
Few reasons. One is just competing priorities, and I feel like from a staff perspective, if we have Ryan and Diane going, we're well covered on that. From a design perspective, I'm relying mostly on community and our experts. Anyway, it's more important for me to understand where board members are.
We don't want John designing.
And
the
you don't
terminal.
want me to design. I tried. I had
I
ChatGPT
was
do a
trying
great
not to
design,
giggle.
but it parked the airports with the cars out in the park, or the airplanes, the cars out in the parking lot. But if I can, if I'm available, Greg, I would love to be able to do it. I didn't want to try and build around my schedule and keep other things.
Copy that, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to giggle.
It's a
I
fair giggle.
couldn't help
Yeah.
it, I'm sorry.
Okay. I think
So,
we've identified some easier ways to figure this out.
Yeah.
Potentially.
So, Portland, if I heard correctly, Jeffrey, that was your third priority. You'd rather go to Jackson and Bozeman if you had to?
I'd be happy with all three. I know I'm
All
not
three.
messing up your matrix,
Yep.
but Portland would be my third choice. Because I think in scale-wise, Portland's gonna be a lot larger than an ASC.
Right.
So to me, I chose the two more regional than, that was my logic, sorry.
So, if I were just to take those in order, we'd have Greg and Francie potentially doing Portland and Jackson. We would have Jeffrey. Oh,
Kelly, don't
actually,
you wanna do it?
hold on. Jeffrey wants to do Jackson and Bozeman. Sorry, I had 3 for Jackson.
You can take me off
So
of Jackson.
I'd be looking for Greg if you'd be willing to maybe do Bozeman, because we don't have anyone doing.
Yeah, I could do that. Let's see.
Sorry, I had that messed up there.
I was trying to choose ones that would be similar in size to ASC.
Bozeman,
That was my idea.
October 9th and 10th, is that right?
Okay, so sorry, we'd look at Greg doing Portland and Bozeman. Jeffrey doing Jackson and Bozeman. And Francie doing Portland and Jackson. There is still a Bozeman spot open. Patty, I don't know if that's what you meant by
Yeah,
a
but
fill-in.
if Kelly can
or-
arrange it and wants to go, I can fill in at the last minute. I'm still not unpacked from my last trip to Philadelphia.
Yeah. Or, and Kelly, I don't know if that is enough lead time for you for Bozeman, and if you're interested in that.
It's just gonna be tricky for me to take more than one trip because of getting childcare coverage for my kids and someone to stay with them is
Well, do you want
not
to
gonna be possible for multiple weeks in any month.
So why don't we hang in there with you, trying to get, if we can get DC set up soon enough so you can go? If not, you go to Bozeman and we could fill in DC. What, you mean something that we're, so you don't not go to Bozeman and then not have enough time to make arrangements for DC and then don't get to go on
Right,
any of them.
yeah, I think my odds are I can probably get like one trip covered. And that's about
And
it.
so,
Yeah, will you just clarify which dates for
oh,
the early or the late? There was the September and
Next
there was
week
the
or-
October.
yes, so we should clarify that, yeah.
Portland,
So Portland could either be next week, which would be very quick, would be a quick turnaround there. It'd probably need to be the 11th and the 12th to avoid board meetings. Or we move it back to the
go
backup
on the
week
12th.
to look at October. And October 9th and 10th would avoid
I can't do
board
October
meetings.
9th and 10th.
Okay.
I can do October 9th and 10th, 11th and 12th. I shouldn't go.
Well, can't we just go next
September.
week?
Could
Is
you
that a
go
problem?
next week,
Next week being the.
11th and 12th?
He
No,
can't do the
that's- I
12th, he's
can't do-
speaking at the
I'm-
core.
I'm speaking on the 12th at the core event, and I'm chairing the RAFTA meeting on the 11th. I could always give that up. If we went earlier, you said the dates are 9th to the 12th. I could skip work session and regular meeting and
That would
go,
be 2 of you skipping work session and regular meeting. That would be
Yeah,
only
that
leaving
wouldn't
3 of
work.
us here.
which is enough if necessary.
This is Portland?
Portland.
Correct, yeah, we're looking at Portland.
I would, what's the word I wanna, discourage too many people missing the 9th, because we have a big agenda with open space and trail.
Right, I want to be here for that too. So I think Portland at the
10th
end would
and
be
11th.
better. Portland on the,
You can't do it at the end. the 9th
Well,
and
it's
10th.
Mountain 2030 and it's Water Congress. I mean, I
Could you
could.
go early in the week of that week
9th to the 12th.
of October?
You could, I mean, it's really 6th
just
through
means I'm
10th that we're
gone for
looking,
an
but you're gonna
entire
have board
week.
meeting conflict there.
We have work session and regular meetings on the 7th and 8th.
The 9th and the
I know,
10th?
but we did talk about canceling
we say the
those
9th
'cause
and the
I'm
10th?
not even sure we have a quorum.
I
That's-
could do the
thank you
9th
for
and the
reminding
10th,
me,
but that's
yeah.
RAFTA again. So
9th
if
and the
we're
10th
both
is-
gone from RAFTA,
I can miss a RAFTA meeting.
oh, can we both miss it?
Sure.
Do you still have a
Will we have a
quorum?
quorum with no Pitkin County?
There should be, if one group isn't there. I don't know, we'll ask, I'll find out.
So you could do, now I'm not sure which month we're in.
I
Are
don't
we
know
in
what-
September,
yeah, I'm-
October?
Can I,
really
can I
confused.
ask for
I
some
prefer
clarity
September,
around
but-
the week of October 6th? Because I feel like there were, at one point in time, we heard
Yeah.
multiple
Switching dates and
conflicts to that
places.
week, and so it would help to understand if we're having
good
any
point.
regularly scheduled board meetings that week or not. There's Water Congress, Mountain 2030,
The Salt Chamber, we've been
Cast is
invited
usually
to.
that, week 2, right?
What?
Cast is usually with Mountain 2030.
Yep.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out, who's gonna be around on
I
the
would rather go
7th and
next
8th.
week if that's possible.
To Portland.
Yeah.
I just wanna focus my question around board schedule the week of October
Yeah.
6th.
So,
Before
Uh,
planning any of this, any other of these other trips in, will we have a quorum for the work session on the 7th and regular session on the 8th?
Well, I'm right now here on the 7th and 8th. And then we have the Basalt Chamber, which they invited all of us to there. But
Jeffrey, were you planning to be at any of those other conferences that are
and
happening?
the 6th
that
is a
week?
holiday.
No, so the conferences that are in my diary are all in November, so CCAT and CCI are both November, so, in other words, the winter conferences
So
in
not
November.
Mountain 2030.
So September, October, no Mountain.
Can I further
2030, thank
confuse
you.
things? John, when do we start budget?
Yeah, we're gonna have, so we have to have a proposed budget, adopted by 15th. Yeah, do we have, what's the work session?
Because I bet we have work sessions in October for budget.
So Kelly, September, October,
You're good. Okay.
good, yeah, really good.
We just have to
The
present the
14th.
proposed budget.
I know,
It's
but
the
it-
statutory requirement in work session, yeah.
Yeah, and it's nice if we have a board here
Yeah.
to hear the presentations rather than having to do them twice.
Greg,
Please.
did you have obligations the week of or other meetings the week of the October 6th?
Yeah, I have Board of Health and RAFTA on the 9th. I have our 7th and 8th work sessions. Mountain Towns, I'm signed up for Mountain Towns.
What dates?
That's the 6th and 7th.
Okay. So you and Francie would both be out on the 7th for Mountain?
So it seems to me that the 6th and the 10th for Bozeman isn't worth it. I don't know, I'm starting to lose interest here. That's a busy week. If that's the only time we can do it, I'd say that's not good for me. Maybe I just need to go another time.
the day of, it's just a day. Oh, no, Bozeman's overnight. Well, I could do Bozeman, I suppose, the 9th and the 10th. I'd miss the Water Congress. No, and the Crystal River Caucus, so I guess I'd rather not.
I can do Bozeman the 9th and 10th if nobody else can go. We don't have to all go to all of them. I mean, the same two.
No, we
It's
can't
nice to
all go to
rotate,
all of them.
yeah.
Of September or October? I'm sorry.
October. We're focused on
October, thank
October.
you.
It sounds like we're gonna have 2 people out on the work session on the 7th. But Patty, Jeffrey, and I can hold down the fort.
We'll be so efficient without those other two.
That's right. Okay, so I'm canceling Bozeman.
You're both be at Mountain 2030. Francie, you'll be out all week, so you won't be in on the 8th either. So
I
we'll have-
will, Monday, I'm wide open that week.
It's a holiday.
Okay,
It's a holiday
great.
Monday.
Which, what are you
Caesar
talking about?
Chavez Day, right?
Which day are you talking about?
Cabrini.
Oh, Mother Cabrini, yes. Okay,
Okay, I want,
we will have board meetings the 7th and 8th, but we will have smaller boards.
okay. I just want to double check. So we've got still Francie and Greg going to Portland.
When?
We need to know which
That
day.
was my next question.
They're both conflicted. Francis
Ninth
can go
and
one
10th.
date and not the other. Greg
I
Greg
can go
this date. and
next
that
week.
date.
10th and 11th, nope, 9th and 10th.
The
9th and
11th.
10th I could go. We can't go the 8th, 8th and 9th.
Wait, where are we?
That's like
Portland,
next
9th to
Monday.
the 12th. We'd go the 11th and 12th, right?
I'm not gonna
Because
do
there's
that.
meetings.
I can't do that. Sorry.
Those are good.
Why don't you come?
And the 9th is our open space and trails meeting.
So it'd have to be the 11th and 12th though, right, to miss meetings?
It'd
not
have to
miss
be
meetings?
the 11th and 12th to miss meetings, yeah.
I can do that.
So I'm gonna skip Portland.
Wait, now we don't have you going anywhere, Greg.
Yep, seems like it.
Thank you.
But they're scheduled on the absolute busiest days of my month,
Okay.
so.
They're all busy the next
Well, I
2
know,
months,
but
it seems like.
It seems like the second weeks are always the busiest.
So Portland, you're talking next week, you'd be able to go.
I can do next week.
Jeffrey?
I'll do next week. Cool. Those are yes shoulders.
Is Bruce gonna fly us up there for free? Is that how we're doing this?
Yeah, no.
One of those big jets parked out at the airport.
Yeah.
N-
Let's fly out of Eagle instead of Aspen.
What days were you thinking, now that I said yes?
September
11th and
11th and 12th.
That's awesome.
Is that still good? Yeah,
Happy Patriots Day.
okay. So now we have Jeffrey going to 3 airports.
Yeah.
He's our
Jackson,
architect.
Bozeman, and PDX.
Cool.
We
Get a
have
Washington
Francie
Bridge.
going to Portland and Jackson. I have Greg listed on all 3 and then X'd out on all 3.
I could go to Jackson, I'd
Jackson?
miss, depends on when it is, but I could go to Jackson.
Would you be willing to give up Jackson, Jeffrey?
When is Jackson? The 24th,
$1 Million Cowboy Bar I just said
23rd
no
to
to?
26th.
Greg, you owe me.
I'll bring you a belt buckle or something.
Thank you.
So
Deal,
confused
deal,
about
deal.
that week. I
Just
would,
kinda don't
are
talk
we
about
talking the 23rd and 24th?
Kelly, you'll be here for the employee picnic? Thank you.
We are talking, I believe, for, 23rd and 24th would avoid board meetings, so September 23rd and 24th.
For Jackson.
And no picnic. Kelly will be here for the picnic.
Yeah, I
too.
can do that.
Greg, you're good?
I'm good for Jackson, the
I
23rd,
appreciate the belt
24th
buckle,
of
thank you.
September, 23rd and 24th, Jackson.
Belt buckle.
Okay,
Plastic one, you can get them at the,
Metal.
I can
at the
find
local
out.
Okay.
5 and
I'll
9.
find him.
And
something.
that's a
And
one
then-
day,
Obnoxious.
or is it an overnight?
2 days.
it'll be an overnight. I would plan for an overnight. That says we could do it in one day, but I think it's gonna be an overnight.
Jackson?
Depends on how we fly.
Why was I just in Jackson? Can't remember.
Cowboy Bar.
You
Belt
drove
I
to
drove.
Jackson.
And then for
It's on tape.
DC for October, it sounds like, right now, Patty and Kelly going pending, scheduling. And Francie, do you still want to be back up on that?
On what?
DC, I'm sorry,
Oh.
whenever that comes up
Yes,
in
please.
October.
Yes.
Does that work for everyone?
Just want to make sure that's okay. Jeffries hasn't been to DC. I haven't been to DC.
If there's if an opportunity came to go to Portland, October 6th and 7th, I would go.
Okay. If that changes, we'll keep that in mind, but I think it's gonna happen next week, based on this conversation. On the DC trip, I am planning to go as staff and do some handoff with Ryan there.
So we've had a fire evacuation, a bomb threat, and a shooter.
Yeah, we're changing hotels.
Is it still under
Did you decide
construction,
Bozeman?
that
Yeah.
hotel?
I didn't
think
hear it.
so.
Did
Yeah.
you decide
Definitely don't
Bozeman?
So Bozeman, I thought was, Jeffrey, you're the only one I have going to Bozeman right
I
now.
said I could be the backup on
What
that.
dates?
Okay, thank you, Patty. So do you want to do Bozeman then, you
If
and
there's
Jeffrey
nobody
for
else can
Bozeman?
go, I'll do Bozeman.
Who did we have on Jackson? Will you repeat that? We had Jeffrey
And me.
So,
and Frank.
no.
What? I just wrote it down.
We have Francie, yes, sorry.
Yeah, that's
No, it
Francie.
wasn't you. But Greg picked up Jackson. Jeffrey, and that's gonna be just okay, let me just
Start with
stop for a
Portland.
second. Jackson Hole,
Okay.
September 23rd through 24th will be Greg and Francie. Then PDX, September 11th and 12th next week will be Jeffrey and Francie.
Cool. Shotgun.
Bozeman, which is October, I think we're going to look at October 9th and 10th, will now be Patty and Jeffrey. And then DC will be Patty and Kelly. And if Kelly's schedule doesn't allow, we'll see if Francie can go again. That's what I have.
Or something.
And I'd like to be on the wait list to the wait list for the DC trip.
Greg, when did we go to DC together? Was that for RAFTA?
Last fall.
Yeah,
That was RAFTA.
we're not meeting them about RAFTA.
Okay, that sounds good, and we will have a mini retreat September 29th, 11 to 2, and we will have a Vision 2050 retreat from 9 to 3 on either the 15th or 17th of September.
Correct.
Good
Good job.
Depending on
Thank
what.
you all.
Did you find
What does that
anything
depend
more
on?
out about the 17th, Ryan?
Whether or not we're having an Eagle County joint meeting on the 17th.
No, I didn't get a text back on that one yet.
Really?
Okay.
Who was setting that up? Gary?
I texted Gary.
I think
yeah.
Gary and AVLT also.
All right, well,
At Eagle County
I
setting
think we
up.
should
We
do
need to
the
talk to them.
Vision
They may be
2050 at
expecting us.
Kaufman. That all of you don't have to drive all the way up here.
Maybe
that morning.
you should call Ginny
Everybody.
Sweeney.
Well,
Or their manager.
maybe your job.
Let me,
I'm
I'll-
serious, that would be so
Marble
nice.
Distillery
I know,
would work
we're gonna-
also.
Do they have a conference room?
we should,
for the element.
Upstairs? Oh, that back
Yeah,
room,
inside
yeah.
to the right.
Oh, yeah.
Private room.
Yeah.
I'm
private
gonna
You're right.
text Jeff
I went to,
Schroll and
uh,
just see if I can
Aspen Woods
find out.
there.
I think we're ready to move on.
I think so.
All right.
All
Good
right.
That
job,
was
everyone.
exhausting.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
exhausted.
board open discussion.
I just want to remind everybody that CORE is doing their, is it the Green Expo? I should know it, but it keeps escaping me what it's called. It's on September 12th. It's at the Limelight. They're going to have demonstrations of things like induction cooking and heat pumps and electric vehicles. An electric shuttle bus van company is bringing a demonstration model to town for a van that could be an airport shuttle or a Maroon Bells shuttle or anything in the upper area. They're going to be demonstrating this electric van, and they're inviting people for rides. I think they're arriving on the 10th through the 12th, so if anybody has time and an inclination to check out an electric vehicle in a shuttle van, they'll be here. And CORE also has some panel discussions. I'm on one, but I don't know the topic, so I'm terrified.
Take it till you make it.
Yeah, I'll just show up and sit there. So that's CORE in the afternoon. If you're interested at all, get on their website and register. Thank you.
And I'll say Cora and Apsha are doing a HOA training together next week.
On that
I saw
same
that.
week,
It's a
same-
really nice announcement.
Flyer, yeah, where they're training HOA leaders on how to collaborate with Core. All right, other open discussion?
Oh.
John?
Yeah, I just had one update, and that is that the FAA has concluded that the FONSI on the 2018 environmental assessment on the airport is substantially the same under the proposed project. And so since there are no significant environmental changes from that study, they have given us a written reevaluation, and we have our environmental clearances to move forward with CIP planning with the FAA. So that's really good news. We had anticipated that coming a little bit closer to the end of the year. So I want to thank Ryan and Diane and the folks at the airport and our consulting team for working with the FAA and the FAA's due diligence and working with us to review those documents.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
great.
And I talked with Diane Jackson about when we'll hear from FAA as to the airport terminal funding opportunities. Was supposed to be yesterday. Nothing has been released yet, so, but we are gearing up an application to be submitted ASAP as soon as the application process opens, because they hope to turn it around within a 30-day period of time.
Yeah, and the longer that gets pushed, I think the better it is for us, the farther we can get along in our processes. But with the environmental clearance, we can now make that application.
As I say that, I'm getting a call from the United States. I think AI or somebody's listening to us. I don't know who that is.
That's all I have.
Okay,
Yeah.
other open discussion, Jeffrey?
Quick follow-up for John, though. Is there an opportunity then to go back to the congressmen or the senators and say, hey, we have our EA, this is the reason we didn't get out of the legislative committee. Can you reconsider the CDS for 2025?
I think we have missed that window because of I'll double check with Jessica, but since the committee has made their recommendations and moved them on,
And I think that door
I think we
closed.
missed that window. But what's really important here is that we have met the window for the terminal grant program, which is a bigger pot of money.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Jeff, or Greg?
Just this Thursday, 4 to 7, and Friday, 3 to 7, Clear is doing its electric vehicle events in Carbondale. They'll be demonstrating vehicles and how to charge them and how to set up home charging and all sorts of things related to that. They'll be doing ride and drives on Friday, September 5th in the town hall parking lot. So if you ever wanted to try driving an EV, you could check them out. Several car dealers and others will be there showing off their cars. Federal incentives end on September 30th, and apparently the radio this morning said there has been a rush toward buying an EV to get the various tax incentives before they expire. Fed expires September 30th and state on December 31st.
Reduced on December 31st.
Reduced, thank you. Yeah, so there's plenty of opportunities if people are interested in that.
Yeah, Colorado outpaced California at one point on
Yeah, last fall.
EV sales. That was amazing.
Yeah, they did. So there you have it.
Other open discussion, Jeffrey?
Couple. So I will likely meet, I think, solo with Wilderness Workshop tomorrow to further a conversation about public lands and GORP. So it's a follow-up. Meeting with Larimer County next week. Judy Shattuck McNally will be in town if anyone wants to join. HHS, I sent Health and Human Services, I sent all the state, both the executive order cutting Medicaid as well as the slide deck from the JBS. I sent to staff, so hopefully that gets to everyone. If you don't get it, reach out to me. Clean vehicle grants, Greg, thank you. I sent to Matt and to Brian because Pitkin could also be eligible. I took advantage of releasing my own personal vehicle, and the incentives right now are about $13,000 per vehicle between federal and state and some other loyalty bonuses, so pretty cool time. And then I'm working on a public lands piece that's likely for the Colorado Sun, which is a follow-up to my Endangerment Act finding piece that was in the Aspen Times last week.
Great.
Patty?
I have no questions to that, but are you done? I have one of the 116th Annual Potato Days is announcing a transformational community impact model. They are going to be funding this year, supporting local farmers through Seed Peace, which is the KC Pesquera fund for our local farmers and ranchers to help them with mental health, physical health, dental health, vision, chiropractic services, and a family emergency fund. So I have got information. They have sponsorship programs available. This effort is to bring together all of our local farmers and ranchers valley-wide, not just in Carbondale area, but valley-wide, to start creating a collaborative working relationship with everybody. I would like to see if Pickens County will pitch in. The annual sponsorships are 5,000 to 10,000. I'm thinking maybe this first year we can pitch in between 3,000 to 5,000 to the fund to help. It goes towards, our name will be on their informational stuff, so Pickens County will be shown. We can also work through, I think, Open Space and Trails with the support they give to our leasing of open space and trails properties for sustainable farming and ranching. So I'd like to see us be members, or just to show our support in some way. And the proceeds of this year, the impact fund is definitely going to Casey's Farmers Fund, which I think is very important to help our farmers in times of need, since they work so hard, make so little money, and many do not have any form of health care, let alone vision, mental health care, any of that. So it's a really positive way to move forward with our local farmers and ranchers.
Do we have anything written on that? Any?
I happen to have in front of me copies for the board. If you want to pass them, do you want one, or just pass along? Or
Down. Got another one?
I got it for all of you. And one for you, John. Okay, get it too. So I would like to see us, I think it'd be important to see Pickens County. I haven't really spoken with Gary. Gary's aware of it, and I think Open Space and Trails might want to bring it to their board and see if we can have both of our names on any of the information that goes out as being a sponsor of this year's event.
Kelly, I just wanted to mention the letter we all received this morning from the town of Snowmass. Has that been discussed in my absence?
I didn't read it.
Patty put out a request, so I feel like we should.
Oh, you want to continue? Right, well, this is another request coming in too, so yeah, let's do this one first.
So Patty, you would be asking for support from I was hoping to have the information about the fund, but
If we could
the
just have
farmers fund.
A second to read.
I have more information about the Harvest Dinner also, which is Casey's Fund supporting farmers through seed peas. This is an event happening on September 20th from 5 to 10 at Sunfire Ranch. It's $35 for dinner and $15 for kids. And you get to go down and tour the farm and have dinner from food on the farm, so it's like farm to farm. And they're gonna have music, and they're gonna have, it's gonna be a lot. So I also made copies of that for board members who might be interested in getting tickets to go to. It's on the Saturday, the 20th.
Okay, thank you. So you have a request for funds from our discretionary
Right.
fund. Do we know, I think it'd be helpful to find out how much we have left in that fund.
Yeah, I don't know how
Where we
much we have left.
consider
I think
it?
we've got a lot.
I don't
Potato
think we've
days.
spent that out.
Money
Potato
and
days is
how does it
when?
get distributed?
Potato
October
is in
4th.
October.
Okay, so we can find that out and come back.
Yeah, that'd
to
be great.
discuss. It'd be helpful, I think, Patty, if you don't mind, or I'll look it up, looking for the actual farmers fund info. It says there's a press release attached, but it's not attached to the.
And I've got,
that one there. Okay, so John, if we could get some information, please, about a remaindering fund in our
Yep,
discretionary
I
fund
will
for this.
write Connie now.
And quote from Bob.
Okay, and then Greg, you had,
I just had a letter from the Red Brick, or the Little Red Schoolhouse.
I didn't have an opportunity to read it
I
yet.
have that
Request from town of Snowmass Village.
Jeff,
from
you
the
already know
mayor
about this,
for
don't you, about the Harvest Dinner?
$500,000.
Here's about, there's more information for that.
Thank you.
Thank you,
John,
guys.
do you want to present this to us?
I was writing about the discretionary
Oh,
fund
sorry.
and was totally not listening. I
No worries.
apologize.
No
Yeah.
worries. Greg has brought up the letter from Snowmass requesting Little Red Schoolhouse funding.
Ye-
We all read about it in the paper a little by surprise last week, and then I think came forward through your office. So do you want to present that?
Yes, I can speak to it briefly. The board, I have just seen the letter today too. The board had previously supported with remaining ARPA funds the Lowell Red Schoolhouse with. And I'm going from memory here, so feel free to correct me, $208,000. And we also committed to provide grant support. And then, so through DC Strategies, we did assist with writing grants for energy impact fee, as well as other federal funding sources. Those grants did not materialize. The EIAF fund has been partially depleted through revenues not coming in as projected, and of course, there's been some sweeping lately with the budget issues. So we're not seeing that that's going to be a viable funding source, probably even for the next year or in a future round. And so Snowmass continues to have a deficit. We're hoping that the grants were going to fill that. They have come back to request $500,000 in funding towards that. The project itself, I believe, is the building itself is $8.6 million. And they're asking us, and it wasn't clear to me in the letter, and I can pull it up here, whether they're asking us to go up to a total of 500,000 or additional.
It says additional.
Additional
500.
500,000. Okay.
Do we have a fund?
And
for
so
that?
we do not in 2025. We had budgeted a $200,000 pot, which is, I believe, has largely been distributed at this point. We were anticipating for the 2026 budget, as we put that together, to put together a larger pot of funding for the board as you are considering how to backfill federal funding cuts and the capital requests that continue to come forward that fall outside of the Healthy Community Fund. We have not set that amount yet because we're still working through development of the proposed budget. I can get more information from Connie. I do believe we're very conservative in our sales tax estimates this year. We are running ahead. And so we are anticipating finishing the year now with additional fund balance. So the board may have some general fund balance that was unanticipated that you could allocate, but I'm not prepared to bring that forward to you today.
Questions? Yeah, I have a Craig and then Patty.
It seems that, my guess is we're gonna see a lot more requests like this, or we're gonna see more certainly coming in that are a surprise. I guess the question is, how long can we delay them so we can at least accumulate a list of everybody who's coming to us, so we're not doing it piecemeal?
So we've been looking at a couple of different options. As you heard from Lindsay and Greg, I don't know, I can't remember if you're here for that presentation or not, but we are working on a collaborative grant review process more in the health and human services realm, working with Aspen Community Foundation, Ski Company, City of Aspen, all the folks who have set up funds to try and take in what we're calling off-cycle or capital requests to review and make recommendations back to all of the funding bodies. And so that's how we develop the recommendations, for example, around the lift up request. And I just received an email that they reviewed the, I I want to say Head Start, but that's not right. Headquarters, thank you, headquarters requests that had come into the board. I would imagine that some of these requests, Greg, will run through that process and have a community recommendation to it. Now, to the degree that we're looking to backfill any federal funding cuts, for example, the request for management on public lands, Forest Service lands and that sort of thing, that would probably fall outside that group, and that's where we probably need to set up some process. I don't know if that answered
Is
your
that-
question.
Will this
Yeah.
request go through that group? I'm sorry, and then Patty had a question. Will this request go through that group?
We can, so the way I understand it set up is that any partner could request that a request like this go through the group. Now, that typically would be when multiple agencies are getting asked. I think in this case, Snowmass is making a direct ask, kind of like the Carbondale Pool or something like that to this body. And so really, this particular request, since it's just coming to this board, should probably be vetted by this board.
We can't send it to them?
Well, you could.
It seems like there's interest
Yeah.
from Ski Cow and
Yeah. Fair
ACF
enough,
on
yeah.
early childhood. Sorry, Francie, or Patty was before me, and then Jeffrey.
Real quick, if the new taxing district goes through, is this not something that money could?
Mike.
If the new childcare taxing district moves forward in November, is this not something that money could help with? Because they're doing capital.
Yeah, and they're not asking us for the full shortfall, so I think
No, I'm
they're-
just saying is they're not, they could put it, so you're saying they'll probably be asking them
Exactly,
to.
yeah, that's what I
Multiple
mean.
different, they're gonna
Right.
ask
Yeah.
for X amount from multiple. Okay, thank
And
you.
I can clarify that. I just saw the letter today too, so I need some more clarification too.
Can I ask a question? I've just been reading
Well,
this.
Jeffrey was
Oh,
before
sorry,
you,
Jeffrey,
so
go ahead.
let him go ahead.
Go ahead.
So we can't assume that they're at 7.8 because the letter is vague. So it's not closing the gap, because the ask from DOLA, right, this feels a lot like the mobile home conversation. Hey, we asked DOLA for $1 million, DOLA's at 0?
Mhm.
Is DOLA at 0 for 25 and 26 then? And so Pitkin again's got to step up and backfill where we thought there
Yeah.
was state money?
So the request to DOLA just went for the last grant review period. So DOLA hasn't made any decisions about future grant cycles. I think what we're seeing in the proposed budget is that some of the gap that was identified was some of the cuts were through the Energy Impact Fund, and so we're anticipating that there will be either very low or no grant opportunities through EIF this next year. So that's speculative on my part, but it's based on the budget.
So could then we be more creative and then say, go back to Snowmass and say, go back to them with both ourselves as a funder and CORE as a funder to make up for the shortfall? I just like saying it from the state.
Core?
CORE, sorry, there was an energy component, I'm assuming, to this budget. We don't have a budget in front of us, so I'm just saying, what are the other
Right,
funding
right.
sources that could fill the gap from the state?
And it's very possible, so you're talking local CORE, like through our REMP dollars.
There are other avenues available to us, given it's not housing, it's schools and early childhood education. So what are the other buckets we could tap to get to that number?
And I could clarify, I would imagine that Snowmass has already put in for a CORE and REMP grant, and they may have, I don't know if any of our CORE representatives have any insight into that, but I can do a check-in on that.
And then
How could just-
again, the other
Let me
follow.
just clarify what he just said, if that's okay, just about REMP. How can REMP dollars go to childcare?
For the building, this is
For the building, for
electrification
yeah.
of the building. So I'm just saying, what I'm looking at again, like
Okay.
much like the conversation down valley, there's multiple sources of money leaving the valley or going to a project, and I'm saying, okay, can we look at this one more holistically? Because the other one got, both park exaction plus REMP. went to that project. So there are other ways to fill that budget gap in the Pitkin Arsenal, given it's not housing.
I'm going
So,
to,
and I'd love to
pose some
hear,
questions.
love to hear if DOLA's available in 2026 to actually fund something. So I see the expression
Doesn't sound
doesn't.
like
That has not, there has not been an announcement, so I'm speculating that based on the sweeping of energy
funds.
impact funding,
Yeah.
that it's unlikely. Maybe later grant cycles, if there's a recovery in that revenue, but based on where they sit today,
Zero.
I know for us, I'm projecting, like, it's probably gonna be a 18-month plus cycle to get back into to those funds. Could be wrong, that's speculative on my part. Educated guess, though.
Yeah. And sorry, one more final, and then I'm done with my follow-up. So it does still feel like a death by 1,000 cuts in all these, because the other unmet community need is the library, which I know they're inextricably linked.
Snowmass Library?
Snowmass Library. So again, from a 26 perspective, one of the, is there a way to build out the library through a housing fund? In other words, if you had 1,500 square foot of library space with 4 units on top of it, is that a way that we could play with Snowmass and provide them both housing? You know, maybe it's teacher housing for the Red Schoolhouse plus a library. So it's a little blue sky, but we have this bucket, which is housing money. Could the housing money, instead of a hallway, it's a library underneath? Is there a way we can, help support their efforts? Those seem like they're 2 unmet needs, and I'm just saying, how do we close those funding gaps?
So the second question may take a lot more unpacking before we'd be prepared to answer that. I think the housing fund could only go to those portions
Right.
that
Yeah, that's
are
what he
clearly
said.
identified as housing, but that could maybe buy down the cost of, you get economies of scale, right? And infrastructure, I think, is kind of where you're going with it. I don't know for the sites that have been proposed, at least to this point, that'd be appropriate. We also have an update coming to you on electrification and just some of the cost increases there that are going to be hitting airport fund and capital fund. And so I think if the board wants to go in that direction, we should probably schedule a separate conversation even from the Little Red Schoolhouse to talk library, because I know the library board has not been supportive, frankly, of expanding that service offering in that way, and taking on the additional both capital and capital maintenance, the ongoing capital maintenance expenses. And so you've got a broader governance question first with the library board, and then you have a question about whether we could do that mixed development, at least in the locations that we had anticipated additional library facilities. There may be other options out there, but I think we'd need to explore that, and I'd need some board direction.
Can I jump in really quick? Doesn't the library, as part of their budget, set aside money for housing? Have they ever used that? I think that's something to look into.
I know, yeah,
I
the
think
answer
they
is yes, they
proactively
had.
took some
I
budget
don't know
money
what the
every year and put it
status
into
is
a
of it.
housing fund.
Yeah.
I don't know how or if they've ever used it. That may be really appropriate to helping with a Snowmass library that has housing for maybe 2 people or 1 person coming from our library. Just another out of the past.
A little further down the road, right?
Yeah, just to throw that at John to add to his list of things he needs to unpack.
Hey, Greg, you wanted to jump in.
Oh,
Sorry,
just,
Greg.
I was, sorry, I wanted to circle back to this, the potato days, sounds like,
Wait, I'm confused. Are we gonna go somewhere with the Snowmass conversation?
Well, yeah, let's tie that.
I'm confused. Sorry, Greg, I
no
just,
problem, go ahead.
I thought you were going around and asking everybody's opinion about
Well,
Snowmass.
he had raised his hand, so I.
Oh, I see.
I
Sorry,
said,
no
please
problem.
wait until Jeffrey's done and then we go back. So,
Okay.
I don't know if we have any direction on Snowmass right now. In terms of responding to this request, there's no obvious
We need more
funding
information.
source.
Well, it sounds like you may need some more information. I think we can bring back information and projections on fund balance. I think for the Little Red Schoolhouse, I think the only really legitimate source outside of any additional grant sources would probably be general fund. And so I think for you to look at the availability of that, it is preceding, and you could also direct that become part of our 2026 budget conversation, and to look at that in light of other priorities would be another way of handling that. It does not sound like the board's at this point ready to say yes or no to this request, but that we probably need to set aside some future
Let's
agenda
do a mini
time.
retreat, John.
Well, and I mean,
Up in
yeah,
Snowmass.
I have something to say too, but Francie, go ahead.
Well, it's not a Little Red Schoolhouse anymore.
Yeah.
It's a really big project, and I can't remember how many kids it's going to have in it, but
30.
I remember being really shocked by the number when Clint told us, did the presentation. And I have to say it's sort of part of the way our valley, maybe the whole damn world, I don't know, is going. It just doesn't fit with my image of what I would like to see. I would like to see, instead of 80 kids in one place, I'd like to see 8 kids in 10 places. And instead of, 300 units at the lumberyard. Anyway, it's very industrialized to me to have that many kids in one place. And I know there's a huge need for parents to have their kids somewhere, but it's going to be a hard sell for me to give another $500,000 to something that I don't think is the direction that's best for the children in our county.
I did just want to share a comment that I received, and personally, I wonder if this is something that, I'm hoping the new child care district gets created and funded this fall, might be able to help streamlining enrollments and things, because as soon as this article was in the paper, I got a text from one of the Roaring Fork School District directors. She said, Roaring Fork School District has physical capacity for 400 pre-K students, and at the end of May, we had 217 enrolled. Physical space isn't the problem, it is staffing, and it will continue to be. $8.5 million for 30 spots sounds like an awful lot. Happy to chat more. So the system may be inefficient, which is gonna happen in every system, but just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, because I thought we had come to this decision a couple of years ago that facilities are not the answer, but maybe in Snowmass they are, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think maybe they're coming back to us again, and I don't know.
Okay, well, we're not making decisions about it today, but at the very least, it will come back in budget, right? And hopefully with additional information. Greg wanted to go back to Potato Days.
Right, yeah, since I wanted to wait for Patty also, I just saw this just now that Patty sent us. Potato Days, it's great that they're still doing Potato Days. It's been around my entire life and beyond.
116
It's
years.
like Dandelion Days and Strawberry Days and Winter Skull and everything else. I'm just thinking, I don't know if they're asking us for money, maybe they are. But in specific, they're asking for Casey's fund, and I knew Casey and really appreciated him, and I was really sad to see him go. They're raising money for farmers both in our valley and in the New River Valley of Virginia. And so I guess I just want to be certain I know who's getting the money and where it's going and how are they distributing it, and is this redundant to other farmer support things that we're doing in the valley, would be my questions about this.
I can clarify really quickly.
And I know they have a dinner.
The Virginia farm is where Casey's dad lives. He has a different program set up there. The monies that are generated locally will stay locally here. I've got more information. I'm supposed to be meeting with Cade Gianetti. He keeps changing meeting times specifically about Potato Days. This is not redundant. There is no fund out there for farmers to go for aid for mental health, physical health, any of that. So that's specifically what the Casey's Fund is going towards for farmers and ranchers in the Roaring Fork Valley.
Specifically for medical care?
Mental health, physical health, vision, dental, chiropractic, and family fund for family emergencies. So if your mother is ill and you can't get home to see her, because farmers and ranchers, you know, they don't have a lot of money, they don't have a lot of health insurance.
So would it be
It's a voucher program set up.
I'm sorry, what?
It's a voucher program set up with local providers who have opted into this fund. So if you need to go, you have to apply and show need. There's an application process. And once you're in there, if you need to go to the dentist, you can call up. They'll verify it with a local dentist who's in the program, which I'm helping them with my dentist to get him involved. Right now, they have massage therapists who are going to take so many clients a month with a voucher.
I see.
And then they get repaid through the fund if they choose to submit the voucher, or they can waive their fee if they choose to.
Who's going to manage the fund?
It's managed through a nonprofit that's being set up locally through Casey's father, who's a finance guy out of Virginia where they have a farm. And he's setting it up here working with local entities, and I'm not exactly sure. I'm hoping to be on their board when I retire from this board.
Well, just the paragraph says, the inaugural recipient of the Impact Fund is Seed Peace, Casey's Fund Supporting Farmers, a newly launched organization that provides grants and supportive services to regenerative farmers throughout the Roaring Fork Valley and the New River Valley of Virginia.
But the funds that'll be raised here will stay here locally. There's
Yeah,
another
that's
funding.
that's conflicting with what they're saying.
Yeah,
here.
well, I'm further clarifying that.
Okay.
But
So
thanks for
more
asking.
information would be
That's a
great.
good
I think, it'd be great to do something in memory of Casey, no doubt.
And I think it'd be great to
Whether
have
it's
Pekin County's
public
name on
funds.
this, along with Open Space and Trails, because we do support sustainable ag across county lines in this valley and ranching.
John?
And you have your full discretionary fund available still.
Really?
Which is how much?
You have the 10,000,
Okay.
and then you have the larger pot. We budgeted contributions to Roaring Fork School District and such separately during supplementals.
Well, isn't the larger one like 200,000 or something?
Yes.
I
And
thought
so
we gave that to Redstone.
Yeah.
That was the.
No, that was the
that was
park.
the
That was the
exaction.
park fund.
Yep, budgeted, that was park dedication fees.
Huh.
Yep.
And was the pool park dedication fee too?
Exaction.
Correct. So there, yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
So I would like to see, and hopefully I'm trying to set up something with Cade Giannetti on Thursday after.
You want to come back next week at open discussion? We can close the loop.
Yeah, fill you in more. Let them know we're talking about it. I'm also working with some local restaurateurs up at this end of the valley to see what they can do to help. And I'm going to meet with Woody Creek Distillery. I ran into William S. Macy at the grocery store and talked with him, and he's interested in. So there's a lot of different factions throughout the valley who want to participate, not only in supporting Potato Days as a community event that's been in the community for so long, but also to support our local sustainable farmers and ranchers.
Further open discussion? Yes.
Nope.
If I can, I'll bring everybody garlic, but I'm not doing that for 2 weeks. So if I smell like garlic
Do
for
you need a
next
signature
month.
on this? Or
You
is
know,
this-
we already
did
directed
it.
to sign it.
Okay, so very good. You just were sharing it. Thank you.
All
Excellent.
right, if that's all, then I will go ahead and adjourn our work session for today, and we will see everyone next
We
Tuesday.
got a lot accomplished today, guys,
Thank you.
especially the exec. That was.